Good evening, everyone. It's game time on YurView. Tonight's National High School Game of the Week comes to you from Arizona, where the Centennial Coyotes host the Pinnacle Pioneers. Hello, everybody. Chris Harris here with former Dallas Cowboy Dale Hellestrae. And Dale, two of the top teams in the state here. Pinnacle from the 6A ranks, Centennial a perennial 5A power.
It's going to be fun to watch tonight. Again, a couple years ago, I don't know if Pinnacle's physical enough to match up against Centennial. I think they are now. I think we're in for a treat.
Well, Pinnacle is a team and a program that's trending in the right direction. Last year, they went 6-6, lost in the first round in a tough one against Brophy. This year, 3-1, but their lone loss this season came against the defending state champion Chandler in overtime.
Yeah, obviously, you take a look, and Dana Zupke is their head coach. He's built this program, done a really, really nice job. He's got a quarterback that is as good as any quarterback in the country, which gives them a chance in every game that they play.
Well, there is no question the leader of this team is the junior quarterback, Spencer Rattler, who has already verbally committed to Oklahoma. This guy is a special talent, and I cannot wait to watch him.
He can make plays all over the football field. As Coach Taylor said, you know, you tell your defense, keep him in the pocket. Well, for some reason, every defense says that. No defense has been able to do that. It'll be fun to watch him on the football field tonight.
Well, you cannot tell the West Side story of Arizona football without talking about Centennial. In the last 12 years, the Coyotes have won 5 state championships and finished runner-up on 4 other occasions.
And you can owe that all to Richard Taylor, the longtime head coach of the Centennial Coyotes. He's been here since day one. As I told him when I saw him before the game, he hasn't aged a day. The guy's played in more state championships than most of us can count. He's built a dynasty over here, and he still looks very youthful.
Centennial offensively is led by Boise State commit Zidane Thomas. The senior running back can run a 4.4 40, but he's also a wrecking ball, punishing would-be tacklers.
He's got a good offensive line in front of him, but he's got great vision. He loves contact. I think probably the neatest thing about Zidane, as you see the numbers there, as humble a high school athlete as you're going to find. He'll be fun to watch on the field tonight.
All right, when we come back, we introduce the third member of our team, Sydney Carriel, and Dale will have the keys to tonight's game. You're watching Game Time on YurView, the National High School Football Game of the Week from Arizona.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
I do a lot of online shopping. I read a lot of reviews. Read the reviews on Sanderson Ford. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. Everybody that's come through there is extremely excited when they walk out of Sanderson Ford, and I think if you go and look at their reviews, it's going to tell you that they're first-class service. They go out of their way above and beyond to make that customer happy, and you couldn't ask for any better company than Sanderson Ford.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
The YurView Game of the Week is sponsored locally by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. By Jack in the Box. Check out our $3.99 Big Chicken Sandwich. AAI. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. By Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Family owned since 1960. Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. By Valle Luna. Proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. Phoenix Children's Hospital. Arizona's best children's hospital. And by Takis. Face the intensity.
Welcome back, everybody. It's game time on YurView as we get set for Pinnacle and Centennial. Chris Harris here along with Dale Hellestrae. Let's now send over to the third member of our team, Sydney Carriel. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. Tonight is going to be a good game tonight against two teams who have played some top-notch competition. First, the Pinnacle Pioneers. They are coming into the middle of their tough stretch of their schedule. They recently have played number 14th nationally ranked Chandler and lost in overtime. Tonight they take on 5A's #1 ranked team Centennial, and next week they play 6A top-notch team Mountain Point. Earlier this week, Coach Dana Zupke said, "When we first started playing tough teams in our schedule, it was tough on the program. But now it's a norm for our players, and they know they have to play at a high level." Now here at Centennial, they play tonight against a 6A team who is the first start of their difficult stretch of their schedule. Later, next week, they play rival Westview, and then in 2 weeks, they play St. Thomas Aquinas, who is ranked number 3 in the country and is located in Florida. Now, when scheduling games out of state, Coach Richard Taylor told us, "We have high school kids, they have high school kids. No matter what, it'll turn out to be a good game for us, and we'll come out learning something, and in the end, it's a memory the kids will never forget." Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sydney. It's now time for the keys to the game. And Dale, what do you have for us?
Well, first of all, Sydney, way to battle through the elements. You and I having hair issues tonight. A big battle, 6A versus 5A. You take a look at Centennial, perennial 5A state championship contenders, Pinnacle to 6A level, Spencer Rattler. As Coach Taylor told me before the game, every defense says keep him in the pocket, but somehow, some way he gets outside the pocket and penalties. Is this going to be the Centennial team with a couple penalties in the first couple games, or the Centennial team that had 15 last week?
All right, when we come back, it's kickoff between Pinnacle and Centennial. You're watching Game Time on YurView.
Tonight's Game Time starting lineups are brought to you by Jack in the Box. Check out our $3.99 Big Chicken Sandwich. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation all fall long, only on YurView.
When the day turns into night, my hash browns turn into my new $3 Munchie mashups. Crispy hash browns, tasty white cheese, mashed up with your choice of savory egg and bacon, buffalo chicken and ranch, or jalapenos and bacon. Each for just $3. Why? Because everything gets more interesting at night. Vampires wake up, werewolves come out, and the boogeyman gets his boogie on. So try my delicious $3 Munchie mashups and keep the party going until the sun comes up. Ooh, $3 Munchie mashups from Jack in the Box.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Takis. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Tonight's Game Time keys to the game are brought to you by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Game Time game of the week on YurView as we get set for kickoff between Pinnacle and Centennial. And it will be Centennial set to receive, and Jacob Veach to kick things off here for Pinnacle. Back to return for the Coyotes, Alex Escobar, the senior, and we are underway here at Centennial High School. And it will be a touchback. Coyotes will start from their own 20-yard line, and their starting offense looks like this.
Take a look at that. We've heard of the skill guys, Dane Thomas, who talked about him in the open, your quarterback, Ruben Beltran. Watch up front tonight. Carson Keltner at center, Trevor Renfro, the right guard. This team has really gone as far over the last dozen years as far as this offensive line will take them. I think this year is no different.
They've always got a big, strong offensive line. That makes the quarterback right there a very happy man, Ruben Beltran. 1st and 10, Centennial from their own 20. Handoffs to Dane Thomas. Gets brought down to the ground by Tucker Parrish. As we look at the Coyotes senior quarterback, Ruben Beltran, a 2-year starter for Centennial, played the state championship game last year.
And you look at Ruben Beltran, the number that jumps out to me right now as you take a look at that, 0 interceptions. You can go a long way in the state of Arizona running the football, but if you want to win a state championship, you've got to be able to throw the ball some.
2nd down and 6. Handoff, Alex Escobar. 1st down, Centennial. And the Pinnacle Pioneers defense, they've got a strong group as well.
They do, and I think that's why Coach Zupke feels confident tonight. You know, that's what you have to do. You have to be able to match up physically against Centennial on the defensive side of the football. He feels he has that kind of squad. Be interesting to watch that matchup as the game goes along.
Fans Dixon, the outside linebacker, a guy to keep an eye on, number 4 for the Pioneers. 1st and 10, Centennial. Zidane Thomas up the middle. Another 1st down for the Coyotes. That offensive line, Dale, getting some work done.
The right side of that offensive line, both seniors, Renfro and watch them come off the ball, little cross block there. Nice. Kudre pulling and kicking out the linebacker, and Zidane Thomas running downhill.
Thomas with 447 yards coming into tonight's game. Off to a nice start here already. Beltran fakes the handoff across the middle, falls incomplete. The intended receiver for Centennial. Right there is Franklin.
Again, you're going to mix in the pass a little bit. You see Tucker Parrish trying to throw a little seam route to the tight end right down the middle. You run the ball 3 or 4 times, try and suck those linebackers up a little bit to stop the run and drop a pass in behind those linebackers. This Pinnacle defense up to the challenge.
2nd down and 10 for the Coyotes. Got a bunch formation to the right, 4 receivers, 1 back set. Escobar in motion. Beltran gets it to Escobar, and he gets bottled up by that Pinnacle defense. Nowhere for him to go.
Really nice job by Kyle Carricker there, number 44. I mean, they end up having 2 offensive lines, the original offensive line, and then 5 guys closest to the sideline, and they set up another fortified front. But great job by Carricker fighting through that initial block and making the tackle. He has 19 tackles on the season, 3 tackles for losses, 210-pound senior.
Great athlete as well, part of the baseball team that made it to the state finals last year for the Pioneers. 3rd and 13, Centennial. Handoff, Thomas tries to break a tackle before being brought to the ground.
Jumps out to me. Just watch the movement that you get here on the offensive line, but look at the white jersey there. Get a couple extra bodies up there, stop them on 3rd and long, and force Centennial to punt the football.
Great job there by the Pinnacle defense. Back to punt for Centennial is Xavier Rojas, and a return for the Pioneers, Dylan Stevenson. Rojas gets it away. Fair catch for Stevenson. And Pinnacle will take over at their 17-yard line. And here's your YurView game time starting lineups for Pinnacle's offense.
We've talked about Spencer Rattler a lot. We'll talk about him a lot as the night goes along, but I think the offensive line, the left side, Mickelson, Benjamin Fox. Fox just a mauler up front. Can they out-physical a smaller Centennial defensive line?
Also want to keep your eye on the Hatton twins, Hogan and Hayden, as well. Some receiving threats for the Pioneers. And this play goes absolutely nowhere. On the carry for Pinnacle was Caleb Covington. As we take a look at the junior quarterback Spencer Rattler's numbers. Very impressive, Dale.
When you talk to Richard Taylor and say, who's he remind you of? When he says Huntley from Chandler a couple years ago, you're talking about the elite of the elite in Arizona.
Parker Red with the catch. And you look at this Centennial defense, Dale, 3 games, 3 shutouts. Is that pretty good?
That's very, very good. And again, you're talking about an undersized defensive line as far as height-wise, 5'10", 5'11", 5'9", and some of those might be inflated a little bit. That does not take away from their physicality. Christian Gomez, Jordan Ware, a couple linebackers to keep your eye on as this game goes along.
Along with Dom Hampton, number 21, the cornerback. Rattler on the run, he's going to slide down. Nice pickup there for the quarterback. Dominique Hampton, the corner for Centennial, has committed to Washington as we look at Rattler on the run here.
Again, you fake the handoff, that zone read, and you're telling every one of your perimeter defenders, keep Rattler inside, and still very difficult to do that, even though you know that's a priority. 2nd and 5. And the Centennial defense, led by Jordan Ware, gets the big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Coach Taylor pointed him out before the game, said here's a guy who's great in the 90s every single game this season, 6'1", 205. Said he's a D1 athlete. A lot of college coaches, though, are looking now for arm span and things of that nature that, in my mind, don't have one thing to do with playing football. Everybody's always looking at the measurables instead of what the player has inside. 3rd and 7, Rattler up in the pocket, delivers, has his receiver making the catch. Big pickup for Pinnacle, Jack Jepson, the junior wide receiver, a pickup of 30 yards on the play. Talk about extending plays. That's one of Spencer Rattler's greatest traits. Steps in the pocket. You know what? You can only cover guys down the field for so long. A flag on the play. So this will wipe out a 30-yard pickup for Pinnacle. Looks like it's going to be an eligible player down the field. And
illegal participation. Number 22 of the offense stepped out of bounds and came back in. 15-yard penalty, repeat, 3rd down.
That's a killer of a penalty. That really is. Rattler's trying to buy a little extra time and steps out of bounds, comes back in, and you see him here. Steps up into the pocket. You see the tight spiral. Very difficult as a defensive back to cover a receiver for 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds, and then the added threat of Rattler can tuck that ball and go a long ways in a hurry. Along those lines, Dale, Rattler is the ESPN Junior 300 and Rival Scouting Service. They rank Rattler as the #1 dual threat quarterback in the class of 2019. 3rd and 22, Rattler again on the move. Dumps it off to Covington, cuts it back inside, and that will bring up 4th down for Pinnacle. That Centennial defense stepping up. Obviously 3rd and very, very long. You just don't want to make a mistake. You come off the edge, absolutely unblocked was Bennett Leby, and as you watch this game unfold, you don't want to put your offense or your football team in a bad situation by creating a turnover, trying to do too much, especially early in the football game. And Spencer Rattler serves as Pinnacle's punter as well. Back to return for Centennial is A.J. Jackson. Rattler gets it away. A nice punt. Looked like one of your golf shots there, Dale. Just kind of sat there. Unfortunately, that's my driver and not my pitching wedge. We can work on that. We can work on that. Rattler, terrific punter as well, over 41-yard average. Well, then you throw him back there with the ball in his hand, and you see him kind of shuffle to his right. That means he can keep the ball and he can run with it. You probably have a fake pass out of that punt formation. So many different things you can do when he's back there. 1st and 10, Centennial from their own 21. Handoff, Thomas looking for a hole, bounces it eventually outside. Wasn't much there, Dale, but he showed some great patience trying to find a hole. Just watch all these guys. You're trying to see if they're going to run to the football, finish at the football. Supposed to go off right tackle, good enough to bounce it back. But where are the white jerseys? There they are. Look at them rally into the football.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white jerseys in the frame at the end of the play.
Big number 99, Hunter Markison, the senior, in on the play. Thomas, right side, cuts it up the field, squares the shoulders. Nice pick up there, Zidane Thomas. First down, Centennial.
Well, you have an open field opportunity for Kyle Carricker here, number 44 for Pinnacle, and he's going to be up the field. It's him and it's Thomas. Thomas bounces it outside. He looks like he's straight arming. I don't even know if he's making contact with guys, but they keep falling down, so he's doing something, and just fun to watch Thomas run the football.
And he's a strong, strong guy, Dale. Benches over 400 pounds. 1st and 10. Escobar works the left side, cuts it up. Nice pick up there by the senior running back, Alex Escobar.
Right behind the two juniors, Jacob Fife, Matthew Coudray. Coudray the guard, Fife the left tackle. And you see Escobar, what a nice 1-2 punch at the running back position between him and Zidane Thomas, especially early in the season, to give each other a break.
Coach Taylor talking about Escobar, said he's a hard worker, has a burning desire to be the best. Two receivers to the right, Centennial, one back set. Man in motion, JL Stark. Throw it out in the flat to Escobar. Tries to pick up a block from Stark, but a great open field tackle there by Pinnacle, Zaire Bogle.
Really like the way Pinnacle running to the football. Bogle, the middle linebacker, 22 tackles on the year. Coming into this game, 190-pound senior. Looked like this play had a chance to go for a lot of yardage and able to make the open field tackle.
And Centennial went for the quick snap. There's a flag on the play. It was 3rd and 1. Let's see what the penalty is.
Definitely don't want to be giving away free first downs. Make the Centennial team work for every first down that they get.
Illegal substitution. Number 52 of the defense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that's our referee, Jim Foster. The umpire, Dan Myers. Head linesman, Glenn Punchus. Line judge, Jeff Barker. And the back judge is Bernie No. Our referees for tonight. Beltran in shotgun. Two receivers to the left. Two backs. Hits his man out to the left side. Nice job of fighting for some yardage there was Jaden Young.
Well, give Dylan Stevenson a lot of credit for this Pinnacle defense. Actually makes the tackle attempt twice. Continue to see the open field tackle there. As you said, great effort, still hanging on there, waiting for his buddies to come over there. And like I said, really impressive the way you see as many white jerseys around the football as you do.
Thomas up the middle, still going. Thomas breaks away, going for the touchdown. Centennial is on the board. Zidane Thomas with a 36-yard touchdown run, and the Coyotes strike first.
Continue to just hammer them, and you're going to watch. Just watch the middle here. Watch the blocking by the interior of that offensive line. Nice hole to begin with, but you have 3 white jerseys there with an opportunity to make a tackle. Zidane Thomas continues to keep those big, strong thighs moving, breaks those tackles, and scampers into the end zone.
Rojas on for the extra point. It's good. So it's the Centennial Coyotes, thanks to the Zidane Thomas 36-yard touchdown run. They lead Pinnacle 7-0. You're watching Game Time on YurView, the National High School Football Game of the Week from Arizona.
Tonight's Game Time Timeout is brought to you by Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
Ford was the only company that we really wanted to go with. Their reputation, the credibility that they have, Sanderson has that. Sanderson Ford does a really good job with their start team. They got with each one of my kids and sat in the car with them, went over every detail of the car. And for them to take the time with each one of my kids and go over every little detail in the car, that's pretty unique.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Centennial has something to be happy about. Zidane Thomas, 36-yard touchdown run to give the Coyotes an early lead.
Just a really nice job by the interior of that offensive line. You get them to the second level, and then Zidane Thomas does the rest. But when you have 3 white jerseys in on a tackle, you've got to get him on the ground. As you look at this Centennial offense, we were talking up here during the break, I don't know if you ever throw the ball again until Pinnacle shows they can stop the run. But Thomas, 5'10", 205 pounds, committed to Boise State. It's not just the measurables, it's the humbleness in the kid, the strength in the kid. We'll continue to talk about him as the game goes along.
And that ball will go out of bounds as Dylan Stevenson got his hands on it, but it fell out of bounds. It's a good look right there. Ruben Beltran, the quarterback for Centennial. It's always nice when you have a running back like Zidane Thomas behind you, isn't it? Makes you comfortable.
It's nice to have that. It's nice to have that offensive line. But you know, as we talked about earlier in the game, at the end of the day, if they're going to win a state championship, you have to throw the ball. You have to be able to throw the ball some. Not a lot, but you have to be able to throw the ball some, and that's where Beltran will come in.
You got to keep defenses honest. And this quarterback right here for Pinnacle certainly does that. Spencer Rattler and the Pioneers back out on the field, now trailing 7-0. 2 receivers to the right. Rattler rolls right. Tries to find number 7. The intended target was Parker Redd. Falls incomplete.
Well, Parker Redd, he was a quarterback his sophomore year, moved out to wide receiver, 13 receptions on the year for almost 11 yards per reception. Just can look at that and see the team guy that he is, wants the team to have success, and has done a nice job at the wide receiver position.
Spencer Rattler in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Covington coming back to the backfield, takes the wraparound handoff. Covington finding some room to run before being brought down by number 29, Devin Butler, the outside linebacker.
Really nice job by Covington. You're going to see this delayed draw and watch the sneaky way they hand the ball off, and then look at the effort. Breaks 1-2 tackles there. Great vision, bounces it outside, gets back up the field. Take a look at the end of this play. Again, a bunch of dark jerseys running the football, physical when they get there.
Covington's the guy, physical back for the Pioneers. 3rd and 2. Rattler overthrows his intended receiver, Hayden Hatton. Now bring up 4th down for Pinnacle.
Well, that's one of those that, you know what, early in this football game, your defense has been on the field a long time. Seems like it should be kind of an easy throw. You have to roll out to your left, get your shoulders turned. And again, sometimes when your shoulders aren't level, that ball can sail on you, even to a 6'3" receiver like Hayden Hatton.
So Rattler will stay out there handling the punting duties for the Pioneers. 2:15 remaining here, opening quarter. Coyotes with a 7-0 lead. End over end, punt for Rattler. Brought in by Jackson, has room on the right side, turns the corner. Nice return there by Jackson. Great field position for Centennial. Here's tonight's injury report.
Fractured heel, that's gotta hurt. Anthony Campbell for Centennial.
And Campbell, he was an all-state defensive player last year for the Coyotes. So I know Richard Taylor, talking with him this week, he's itching to get Campbell back out on the field. Coyotes offense take over from Pinnacle's 42-yard line. Excellent field position. Thomas handoff, bounces it, and cuts it back inside. Boy, another nice run there by Zidane Thomas. Showing you how he gained over 2,300 yards last season.
Looks like that's that situation, probably holding against Centennial. But just take a look at this. When you talk about Centennial, watch these guys, these offensive linemen up front, and just watch the hole at the point of attack. It's just good old-fashioned counter.
On the offense, number 23.
Nobody touches him until he gets up to the third level, and referee did a nice 10, 20, 30-yard throw with the flag.
That's pretty impressive, yeah. Guy's got a hose on him. Well, one of the concerns coming into tonight's game for Centennial's Richard Taylor, they had 15 penalties in last week's game. And the trend is kind of continuing here in the first quarter. And Richard Taylor's going to call a timeout. Wants to chat things over.
They had 4 penalties the first game, 4 penalties in the second game, and then 15 last week.
Each week, we are proud to honor 2 outstanding players with the Scholar Athlete Award for on and off the field excellence. Tonight's Scholar Athlete Award honorees are Parker Red from Pinnacle and Alex Escobar from Centennial. Parker has a 4.5 GPA, runs track, and is an NHS Vice President of the Journalism Club and volunteers for the Andre House and has built houses on mission trips to Colorado through his church. Alex has a 3.85 GPA, taking honors classes at Centennial. 3-year varsity player, has volunteered for the Special Olympics, and hopes to study engineering and play football in college. Congratulations to Parker and Alex. Always nice to see the guys doing more besides playing sports.
Yeah, it's amazing. It warms my heart every week when we do that. Kudos to Cox and YurView and all the sponsors, because there is so much more that goes into these kids than just being athletes.
And some of the classes they take these days, they're like college classes. 1st and 14, Centennial coming out of the timeout. They're stacked to the left side. Thomas works that side, finds a huge hole. Zidane Thomas staying in bounds. Another big pickup for the senior running back. 29 yards on the play.
Yeah, and that offensive line just doing a great job. Just watch the area that you can run the football in, and nice double team on side. Doesn't really get touched, ducks in behind his blockers, and then a little stiff arm here, a little stiff arm there. Next thing you know, it's a first down again for Centennial.
You talk about this line, Dale, and the strength of this team. They had 27 players that could squat over 400 pounds. 1st and 10, Centennial. Thomas tries to bounce it to the outside, gets Carricker, throws him down. I guess his knee did touch. Nice play there by Carricker.
Nice job by Carricker. You talked about Zidane Thomas and the strength of this team and the strength program. And, you know, Zidane Thomas, 5'10", 205 pounds, what he's listed at, can squat 550 pounds. He bench presses more than 400, and he's a 4'4", 40 guy. And you can just tell that when he sticks his arm out to stiff arm. It's not like he's really physical with it, but when he sticks his arm out there, people fall to the ground.
You're not going to tackle him. Beltran gets corralled, breaks loose, but finally gets brought down. Line on the tackle there is Shane Sunday, the sophomore.
Well, some young guys getting some playing time. You know, that defensive line, starting defensive line, all seniors, but mixing some younger kids in there also as far as playing time. And Sunday, you know, you talk about a 6'3", 200-pound sophomore, 2 sacks on the season. Nice tackle there to force Centennial into a 3rd down situation.
Sunday, a great athlete too. plays basketball for Charlie Wild's team there, the Pioneers. 2 receivers left, 2 set back. Beltran steps up looking for a receiver, dumps it off, but unable to make the catch. For Centennial is D'Angelo Garcia, the sophomore.
And those are the things, obviously, if you're going to try and be picky on Centennial, you got to be able to make that throw and catch, keep this drive alive. And if you're Pinnacle, you're saying that's exactly what you needed. You wanted to force this team into a field goal attempt as this first quarter winds down.
2 seconds remaining. Xavier Rojas will come on for the 34-yard field goal attempt. Last season, 6 of 7. This one is up and right down the middle. And it is good. Centennial puts 3 more points up on the board, and we are through 1 quarter here. And it's the Coyotes leading the Pioneers by a count of 10-0. You're watching Game Time on YurView, National High School Game of the Week from Arizona.
With On Demand from Cox.
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, man, this is so good to be on. Oh!
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Game Time on YurView, Thursdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Via Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona.
If you want better opportunities in your life and your current job is taking you nowhere, you can look through the classified ads for a better job. You can apply for jobs that are out there, or you can call us at AAI and get the career training you need for a career you'll love.
A job is a short-term solution, but real change happens in your life when you're in a career that offers you satisfaction and rewards. Why just work at a job when you can build a strong foundation for a career you can be passionate about?
Check us out at aai.edu or call now.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. And it is Centennial leading Pinnacle by a score of 10-0 as we get ready to start the second quarter. The Coyote cheerleaders have plenty to be excited about here early on.
Total yards in the first quarter. Pinnacle 39, Centennial 130. Dane Thomas, 9 carries, 110 yards in the first quarter. So with my SMU arithmetic, he's on pace for 440 yards this game.
You're pretty good at math.
You take the over or under on that?
I'm going under. I'm going to go out on a limb. Go out on the limb and take the under.
He'll get tired before he gets to 440?
I will tell you, though, last year, Thomas, in the semifinals against Cienega, 336 yards and 4 touchdowns.
But that was in November.
That was state semifinals, though.
So it's November, so it's a little bit cooler. Although we are hitting fall in Phoenix as the 100-degree days are supposed to go away.
I thought you might have a light coat here tonight. We had a nice little breeze there before the game, under 100 degrees.
Left my sweater in the car.
You can go run out and get it at halftime if you need it. First and 10 Pinnacle from their own 20. Covington up the middle, pickup of 4 for the junior running back.
And this is the time your team down 10-0. Your offense struggled to move the ball. This is where Spencer Rattler needs to make a couple of those spectacular plays that people hear about, people read about. Obviously, great stats, great athlete. Be fun to watch him, but let's see what he can do in this situation.
We got a flag on the field.
Number 1, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
False start against Dana Zupke's team.
You see Mike Brown in front there, the offensive coordinator for Pinnacle, longtime head coach and been a coordinator for a number of years too.
The professor. 2nd and 11. Rattler steps up, and he's going to get brought down. Great play there. Centennial, Jacob Franklin, the senior defensive end, and a captain making the play.
Well, he's working against Caleb Covington, the running back, and coverage downfield. And Spencer Rattler didn't feel the pressure coming from his blind side. Thought he had a little bit more time to throw the football, but great job by Franklin continuing on his pass rush, and now you're talking about 3rd and very long for Pinnacle.
Franklin's father owns Ballpark Pizza and Subs just down the street from here, 76th Avenue in Thunderbird, and our TV crew got a bite to eat there before the ball game. As Covington gets wrapped up, and it's Franklin again right there, right on cue.
Well, again, you have to stay ahead of the chains if you're this Pinnacle offense, and a penalty puts you back behind the chains, and a sack puts you behind the chains, and you're not going to pick up a whole lot of 3rd and 15s and 14s against this Pinnacle defense. And you know, the thing that Coach Zupke and his staff need to be cognizant of is, you know, the defense is going right back out in the field, and more than likely Centennial is going to have really good field position. 0 for 3 on 3rd downs is a Pinnacle offense.
And they've got 4th and 15 right now. And they got to be punting from their own goal line. This one's going to get a nice bounce for Pinnacle. Jackson's just going to let it roll, and the ball will be downed at the 42-yard line. And that is where the Coyotes offense will take over. It was Jacob Veach with the punt there for Pinnacle.
It's one of those series early in the football game. Ian Combs, the offensive coordinator from Centennial, I remember talking with Richard last year, and I think Richard, in a perfect scenario, would like it about 90% run, 10% pass. I think him and Ian have kind of come to a nice mix between what Ian liked to do and what Richard would like to do.
Beltran fakes the handoff, looks deep down the middle of the field, just overthrows his intended receiver. And that would be number 23, A.J. Jackson, the junior.
He's working on Quentin Powell, the cornerback from Pinnacle, 11,100 meters. Coach says he plays bigger than he is. He's the fastest player on the team, only 5'8", 155 pounds, but so much of being a cornerback is your attitude. Sometimes these cornerbacks who are 5'8" kind of look in the mirror and think that they're about 6'2" and play like it.
Yeah, Zupke said he's not afraid of anybody. He likes to stick his nose in there. Thomas inside handoff. Just too many white jerseys in on that play.
Well, as I said, I think this is a really important drive for Pinnacle's defense. Can they get off the field, force the Centennial team to have to punt to them? You see Bogle there, been in on a number of tackles here early in this football game, and you know as a defensive lineman linebacker that you're going to be really busy when you play against Centennial.
They definitely keep you occupied with the offense Centennial runs. 2 receivers split to the right. 1 back set is Thomas, and he'll take the handoff. Cuts it back inside, fighting for the first down, but he's going to be stopped just short. Great job there by Zaire Bogle, stopping Thomas just short of a first down. It's going to be 4th and 1.
This is that counter play again. This time going to the other side. You're going to watch now the left guard and left tackle pull, and that's going to be your left guard is Matthew Coudray and left tackle Jacob Fife, and watch them come around the corner and keep pushing on people. And now it's going to bring up 4th down and short enough that if you're Richard Taylor, you say, you know what, we might as well go ahead and go for this.
You like going for it here?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's 4th and 1. They haven't stopped you yet. I would go ahead and run the football.
And before we get a play, we're going to have a timeout here by Centennial. Richard Taylor wants to talk it over a little bit longer. And let's now hear from Centennial head coach Richard Taylor, and he credits a lot of the success of the program over the years to his assistant coaches.
Our assistant coaches are just outstanding. Steve Isaac is our special teams coach, and we stole the possession last week on special teams because of him. Ian Comas is our offensive coordinator. Andrew Taylor is our defensive coordinator. They don't drink, don't smoke, don't gamble, don't fish, don't bowl, they do football. That is what they do.
You mean they don't bowl, for crying out loud? As many games as they've won, Richard doesn't allow them to go out and bowl. And Andrew, by the way, I believe that's his son, isn't it?
It is his son, yes.
He didn't make any special mention. He just kind of rolled it along with everybody else.
I guess it's just understood. Doesn't want to show any nepotism, apparently. So Centennial elects to punt. And the Coyotes are going to down the ball at the Pinnacle 17-yard line. That was A.J. Jackson. We've seen him with the punt return, but he handles the punting duties here.
Kind of surprised there as you see the punt. They called timeout. They thought about it. You know, 10-0 ball game. And I guess that's why I'm sitting up here in the booth with nothing to lose if you don't get it. And Richard Taylor and his staff is down on the sidelines, and they do have something to lose if they don't get it.
And Richard Taylor, 25th season. He's been the only varsity head football coach Centennial has ever had. As we take a look at another long-time coach here in the Valley, now the offensive coordinator for Pinnacle. See if we can get something dialed up here with Spencer Rattler in the Pioneers offense, and it's Covington. Couple nice moves, picks up the first down, a gain of 12 for Caleb Covington.
Going off that left side, Benjamin Fox, again, the left tackle, number 79. Coach Zupke said he's just a mauler, has an offer from NAU, and just watch over here and see what kind of movement do you get. Nice block down, you get the pull by Luke Ashenbrand, and then really nice run by Caleb Covington.
Covington bounces right side, cuts it back in before getting brought down by Devin Butler. This Pinnacle offensive line, as you mentioned, Dale, last run was to the left side, this time to the right.
Well, you look at that offensive line, 300 pounds, 265, 280, 270, 255 across the front five from left to right. I think this is as physical a football team as Pinnacle has had.
1st and 10. Direct snap to Covington. As Rattler went out there to give a little bit of a block to help out his back. In on the tackle, though, for Centennial's Jaden Young. And Jaden Young, his older brother, Dedrick, a former Centennial star, and he's now a 4-year starter at the University of Nebraska. Two receivers to the right. Little mix-up in the backfield. Covington and Rattler.
Well, they run a good old-fashioned counter. As you said, a little mix-up in the backfield. Not sure who was supposed to get the ball here, but watch these guys pull for a brief minute there. You have a hole. You hand the ball off. There's an opportunity to run the ball, but the mix-up in the backfield, this Pinnacle, this Centennial defense is too good to have a hole open that long.
Two backs. And we're going to have penalty before the snap.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense, number 40. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
And let's send it down to the sidelines. Sydney Carriel. Sydney, what do you have?
Thanks, guys. I'm here on the sideline, on Pinnacle's sideline, and defensive coordinator Andrew Hurley just had his defensive team huddle up and said, good things happen when we do our jobs. Keep it up, keep it up. We know it's going to be a battle out there. Just keep going and good things will happen. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Sydney. And speaking of making things happen, how about 51 for Centennial, making the big stop there on 3rd down Xavier Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia 5'9", 120 pounds, comes unblocked because the linebacker walking up in that gap and has the quickness to get out there. And instead of 4th and shorter picking up the first down, this Pinnacle team is going to have to punt.
A.J. Jackson to return for Centennial. And Spencer Rattler back to punt once again for the Pioneers. And it's going to be a fake. Rattler picks it up. The pass to Dylan Stevenson. And how about that?
Well, it's just got to drive you crazy if you're Steve Isaac or any special teams coach going against his Pinnacle team, because you know, you don't even rush the punter because you know that this can happen. You see the Centennial defense, they are waiting for it. They have pretty good coverage, just better execution by Pinnacle and Spencer Rattler.
So Pinnacle and Dana Zupke go with the fake punt, pick up the first down. Now at the Centennial 46-yard line. And a great job right there, just churning the legs there for the Pioneers is Amelik Juntanen, the junior running back.
Well, he's averaging 7.5 yards per carry. It looks like he gained 7 or 8 yards there, and a lot of it after first contact. And, you know, the biggest thing here for me is Pinnacle's allowing that defense to get a little bit of rest as they're driving this ball down the field and picking up some first downs.
And they're doing it against a Centennial defense that has not given up a point now in 13.5 quarters. Hayden Hatton gonna throw it back to Rattler, and he's got Rattler on the run. So Pinnacle's pulling out all of the stops here on this drive. First the special teams fake punt, and now a little wide receiver pass.
Well, and sometimes your guys are just better than their guys, because this play was, again, pretty well covered by Centennial. They had good defense. They had guys over there. Just a better play by Rattler than by Centennial.
And then Centennial's defense steps up. Another big play once again is made by Jacob Franklin. And Franklin missed all of last season due to a torn tendon in his finger. And Richard Taylor is very happy to have Franklin back for his senior year. 2nd down and 14 now for the Pioneers. Rattler rolls right. Finds his man on the sidelines, and pulling it in for the Pioneers is Jack Jepson.
And that's one of the things that, you know, Coach Zupke talked about. You know, Spencer Rattler's so talented. Sometimes it's kind of boring to take the 5, 6, 10-yard outs. Wants to throw the ball down the field. But in a game like this, you know what? We need to stay ahead of the chain. Sometimes that is the best play. Get the out, get the completion, keep drives alive.
3rd and 4. Pinnacle, 3 receivers to the left. 2 split out to the right. Empty back set. Rattler finds his receiver. It's Jepson again. And he's going to be marked short of a first down.
Still nice effort by Jepson. Kind of runs straight up and down. 6 foot, 175 pound. Junior took a couple shots from that Centennial defense. Good pass protection. Give yourself a little bit of time to throw the football. Breaks a tackle. Just really nice physicality by that Centennial defensive backfield.
And the Pioneers will go for a field goal. Jacob Veach is on for the 27-yard field goal attempt. It is up, and it is good. So Pinnacle is on the board. Jacob Veach with the field goal. Pioneers now trailing the Coyotes by a count of 10-3 with 2:24 remaining here in the 2nd quarter.
I think a couple good things came out of that. Number one, you said you could run the football, and Pinnacle's able to do that, and they will come away with points.
Let's step aside for a short timeout. Stay tuned for more game time on YurView. Centennial leading Pinnacle by a score of 10-3.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Tonight's Game Time Player Spotlight is brought to you by Takis. Face the intensity. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Centennial leading Pinnacle by count of 10-3.
Well, you have a Centennial team averaging 44.5 points per game coming into this game, and a Pinnacle team that's averaging 37 points a game. This is just a really good matchup between two good football teams.
And those were the first points that Centennial has given up this season. Had shutouts in their first 3 games and held Pinnacle scoreless through the first quarter and most of the second quarter here tonight. Escobar on the return for Centennial. Going to get brought down at about the 29-yard line.
As we talk going to break, I thought it was really important for Pinnacle to get some first downs, give their defense a little bit of rest. Their first 3 drives, they had 1 first down. This past drive, they got 4 first downs per our crack stats guy, Mr. Donans.
And it was 11 plays for 74 yards for the Pioneers. So Ruben Beltran and the Coyotes offense takes over from their own 28-yard line with 2:17 remaining. Beltran with the keeper. Pickup of about 4.
Nice job by Hunter Marcuson there fighting off the block of Jacob Fife, the 6'4", 220-pound senior. Marcuson able to fight off the block, make the tackle. Really nice job from his defensive end position.
This Pinnacle defense trying to stiffen up here and keep Centennial at 10 points heading into intermission. Second and going to call it about 6. Thomas up the middle. Tries to break out of 1 tackle, still on his feet. Carricker had him by the jersey, but couldn't pull him down.
Well, Carricker doesn't hang on to that jersey. If it was old-fashioned, if you're as old as I am and you remember Earl Campbell, tear-away jerseys, you're going to see Zidane Thomas break through the line, another ISO play, but watch him hang on right here, hanging on, and still Thomas keeps those legs churning forward for the first down.
Zidane Thomas, look at those numbers tonight already. 11 carries, 137 yards, plus a touchdown.
As you sit here and see the clock come down to a minute, Centennial goes to no huddle. Remember, they only have 1 timeout left.
Beltran scrambling, looking for some room, and he's going to get sacked. Making the play there for Pinnacle, number 72, Luke Ashenbrand.
Be interesting to see how Richard Taylor handles this. Do you let the clock run down? Looks like they're going to kind of take their time, kind of in between here, down to 35 seconds, and I think they're going to huddle up rather than take an opportunity on making a mistake and giving Pinnacle any momentum going into halftime.
And that clock continues to wind down. We're at 22 seconds. And Beltran and company being very patient before breaking the huddle. And now we're going to have a timeout. Richard Taylor did not seem overly pleased there. with the time management.
Well, I think that was more timeout because they would have taken a delay of game penalty. Obviously, they're not used to giving up many sacks. Give this Pinnacle defense, as I said, you give them a chance to get some rest, and you just see a rejuvenated defense right now.
Let's take a look now at the Max Preps top 10. And we will see the number 3 team, St. Thomas Aquinas, right here in 2 weeks. And you will see that game on YurView.
Are we going to learn how to pronounce it? Is it Aquinas? Aquinas? How are we going to say it?
I've last heard Aquinas. Now it's from our producer Rich Reed in my ear, but I've heard it pronounced like 5 different ways.
Yeah, but what's their mascot?
That is a wonderful question. I do not know that.
Because that's what I'm going by.
Going with the mascot?
Yes. See the rest of the top 10 there? A lot of names that you recognize nationally.
Thomas left side, cuts it back in, still on his feet. Terrific run there by Zidane Thomas as he continues to shred this Pinnacle defense.
Well, now they're going to be able to spike the ball. Our TV says 1 timeout. I'm not so sure if they have any timeouts left.
And they are able to spike it. The clock continued to run.
Again, you're just going to watch him get out here and thinking you're going to run out the clock, and yet it's Zidane Thomas going to run through some arm tackles. It's like a bowling ball, a butcher knife, just running through, does not go down easy.
So they'll put 1.2 seconds left back on the clock. And that will allow Centennial to try a field goal to close out the half. It'll be a 39-yard attempt for Xavier Rojas. It is up and it is good right down the middle. Xavier Rojas, the 39-yard field goal to close out the half for Centennial. And it is the Coyotes leading the Pioneers by a count of 13-3 as we head to intermission. And let's now send it down to the sidelines where Sydney Carriel standing by with Centennial head coach Richard Taylor.
Thanks, guys. Coach, you've held them to 3 points so far in the game. What have you guys done to hold them to only 3 points?
Well, Sydney, I think our guys have just played hard. Our defensive coaches, I think, are well prepared, and they got our guys well prepared.
So far, Zidane Thomas has done really well. What do you think he's been doing on the field that's helped you guys get the lead and keep them out of their end zone?
Well, I think Zidane would be the first to tell you that the offensive line is doing a good job for him and getting him into the secondary. And when he gets there, usually good things happen.
Thanks, Coach. We're going to take it back up to Chris and Dale.
Thank you so much, Sydney. It is Centennial with the lead, 13-3 over Pinnacle. You're watching the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. We'll be right back in just a bit.
You're watching the National High School Football Game of the Week. Join us all fall long for tomorrow's classics today, only on YurView.
I do a lot of online shopping. I read a lot of reviews. Read the reviews on Sanderson Ford. I think you'll be pleasantly pleased. Everybody that's come through there is extremely excited when they walk out of Sanderson Ford. And I think if you go and look at their reviews, it's going to tell you that they're first-class service. They go out of their way above and beyond to make that customer happy, and you couldn't ask for any better company than Sanderson Ford.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Whenever a craving hits, Jack's got your back.
Somebody craving my really big chicken sandwich?
The really big chicken sandwich combo for $3.99. Double the chicken, double the cheese, topped with hickory smoked bacon, plus curly fries and a refreshing drink. All for just $3.99. Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.
The $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo, only at Jack in the Box.
If you're thinking about coming back to school, you probably go online and check out schools in the area to find out which one best suits your needs.
At AAI, we invite you to visit our website at aai.edu and check out the career training we offer in skilled trades.
You can navigate the website, check out our campus, hear from our graduates, and better understand the commitment we have to our students.
Our website is full of great information that can help you make an informed decision about your future. Check us out at aai.edu or call now.
Tonight's Game Time Scholar Athlete is brought to you by Valet Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
Welcome back to YurView's National Game of the Week. At halftime, Centennial is leading 13-3. Last year, North Canyon had their first winning season since 2011 with a 6-4 record. The Rattlers are trying to carry that momentum through this year and currently have a 2-2 record. One reason for the team's turnaround the last couple of years has been the play of standout wide receiver Solomon Enos.
Last season, North Canyon's Solomon Enos had 64 catches for more than 1,100 yards and 10 touchdowns. This year, Enos is considered the top senior wide receiver in the state and possibly the #1 overall recruit in Arizona. Solomon has narrowed the list of colleges he's considering down to Arizona State, Arizona, USC, California, Utah, Ole Miss, and Penn State.
It shows that how much work I put in going into my junior year and my team backing me up that year as well as this year. I mean, they just helped me out a lot. I couldn't do it by myself. So it means a lot to me personally, but as a team and for the school representing the teachers, the staff, it just means a lot.
At 6'4" and 205 pounds with track speed, Enos's big play potential allows the Rattlers to have a quick strike offense. Solomon has 21 catches for 330 yards and 3 touchdowns this season.
He's definitely dominant. He outworks everybody, so whenever he goes on the field, it's so much easier for him compared to anybody else. And he's 6'4", and he can jump, so it makes it easier.
You know, his ability to make something happen after the catch. Usually someone that big doesn't, they can't move as well. He does a great job of moving.
I like to stand on the bench so I can see everything over everybody. Because you just never know what you're going to miss.
Enos was a can't-miss prospect at Nike's The Opening Camp in Oregon this past summer, where the top talent in the country trained for a week.
Jerry Rice was out there helping us out, just the little details, because it's not always about speed or like catching the ball, it's just the details about your route running. I was running routes with him and stuff like that, doing footwork, all that good stuff, so it was fun.
Solomon has another former NFL player he can lean on for advice. His biological father, Curtis, is a former All-American running back at Penn State, who also spent 3 years playing for the Chicago Bears.
He was a great player in college, made it NFL, made his dream come true, and I mean, he just instilled that in me. I mean, when we hang out and we talk football, and he passes that down, his knowledge to me. So, I mean, it's good having that outlet, that guy to talk to that's been there and has done it where you want to go.
While playing in the NFL is one of Solomon's goals, his future after football involves opening his own sneaker boutique and selling streetwear clothing. Enos has already started his own business venture, painting and selling shoes to classmates.
When they tell me what they want, I go on Google images, and then either I put a trace down, like a little, what do you call it? A stencil, I guess you could call it, and that, or I either freehand on the shoe with a pencil, depends on the shoe, but either that or a freehand, and then I just get my paint and go to work.
Solomon says it takes a couple of days to paint a pair of shoes, and he sells them for somewhere between $30 and $60 bucks. This past spring, while wearing his track shoes, Enos helped lead North Canyon to a state championship in track. And now it's Solomon's hope to get the football team to the playoffs for the first time since 2011. You're watching YurView's Game Time National Game of the Week here at Centennial High with the Coyotes leading 13-3. We'll be back with highlights and more after this.
With Cox high-speed internet, you get access to super fast in-home Wi-Fi to power all your...
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle.
When the day turns into night, my hash browns turn into my new $3 Munchie mashups. Crispy hash browns, tasty white cheese, mashed up with your choice of savory egg and bacon, buffalo chicken and ranch, or jalapeños and bacon. Each for just $3. Why? Because everything gets more interesting at night. Vampires wake up, werewolves come out, and the boogeyman gets his boogie on. So try my delicious $3 Munchie mashups and keep the party going until the sun comes up. Ooh, $3 Munchie mashups from Jack in the Box.
You're watching the National High School Football Game of the Week. Join us all fall long for tomorrow's classics today, only on YurView.
When the day turns into night, my hash browns turn into my new $3 Munchie mashups. Crispy hash browns, tasty white cheese, mashed up with your choice of savory egg and bacon, buffalo chicken and ranch, or jalapeños and bacon. Each for just $3. Why? Because everything gets more interesting at night. Vampires wake up, werewolves come out, and the boogeyman gets his boogie on. So try my delicious $3 Munchie mashups and keep the...
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Here in Arizona, Centennial leading Pinnacle by a score of 13-3.
Again, good first half, a low-scoring first half. I think we all kind of thought that Pinnacle might be able to go big plays, but give credit to this Coyote defense for keeping them under wraps.
Let's take a look at how this first half unfolded here this evening. Open up with some defensive plays.
You talk about the defense, and that's Pinnacle character coming up and making the play, and guys fighting off blocks. Again, what I love to see a bunch of jerseys around the football, and then look at Zidane Thomas. I mean, he is just so hard to get on the ground, strong, physical, tough. And then Franklin with the sack here on Rattler. Nice job by Rattler tucking that ball, not turning it over. And then you see Garcia break through the line. And then Pinnacle again, in a game like this, let's pull out a few stops. Let's put a couple things on film. The fake punt, the halfback throwback pass that was, for the most part, defended very good by Centennial. Just, again, better job by that Pinnacle offense getting the job done. You see the stats and the rushing yards is the number one thing that's going to jump out at you. 186 rushing yards for Centennial. Pinnacle, 68 passing yards. I think the one thing that's going to have to improve if Pinnacle is going to have success in the second half, they've got to pick up some third downs. 0 for 5 on third down. And then the average starting yard line, 17 for Pinnacle, 34 for Centennial.
And that field goal for Pinnacle, the first points this season that Centennial has given up. And speaking of Centennial, before we go to break, let's take a listen to the Coyotes marching band. We're going to step aside for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll take a look at some of the top games around the country. You're watching Game Time on YurView.
With
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Oh, man, this is so good to be on.
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Refresh yourself with a Polar Pop Cup from Circle K. It stays cold longer, and we offer more choices than ever before. More choices like Powerade, vitamin water, iced tea, and full throttle. Ready for the best part? You can get any size foam Polar Pop Cup for only 89 cents every day. More choices than ever before. Talk about refreshing. More choices, most value. At Circle K.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Talkies. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Tonight's Game Time top games are brought to you by AAI. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation.
Take a look now at some of the top high school football games from around the country taking place this week. You got the number 2 ranked team in the country, IMG, will be taking on St. John's from Washington, D.C. About this big matchup, number 6, De La Salle against number 12, Bishop Gorman from Las Vegas. That'll be a huge, huge matchup. St. Francis Academy and Don Bosco Prep, a couple big names there. Here in Arizona, Mountain Point and Mountain View. And then a couple games you can see on YurView.com. In Louisiana, Warren Easton at Landry Walker. And in Oklahoma, Edmond Santa Fe at Norman North. And then on Saturday night, number 1, Mater Dei will be taking on Bergen Catholic in Mission Viejo. Let's now send it down to the sidelines and Sydney Carriel. Sydney?
On tonight's Your Athlete, we had a chance to visit this week with the country's top-rated quarterback in the class of 2019, Pioneer Signet caller Spencer Rattler, about his recruiting and his college choice.
Hi, my name is Spencer Rattler, junior quarterback for the Pinnacle Pioneers. What I like playing about quarterback is I get to control the game almost. It's a good leadership position. You feel like the team's on your back and you get to lead your guys and they look up to you, and I like all that stuff. Recruiting process really blew up after my freshman year. My first 2 were ASU and UCLA, so those first 2, really get your confidence going. Then the big school started to roll in. I think Oklahoma was my 5th offer. And once I met Lincoln Riley, I knew I had a feeling, this is the guy that I'd want my coach to be like. And we just developed a great relationship. And when I went up there last summer to visit, I just knew it was the right place, so I pulled the trigger. Coach Riley has been running that spread type of offense since he was at Texas Tech and other schools like that. So I've known about him for a long time, and I feel like Baker and I have same qualities. Speed, make plays with your feet, can throw the ball down the field, and just what I've been seeing recently with them, and I feel like I fit perfectly in their offense. I mean, as you've seen, Baker just killed Ohio State and the other teams, so I just like what I'm seeing with OU right now. Well, with a team like Oklahoma, it's the most winningest program in college football history. So that was also a big decision in the choice. They win games. They got popped up to number 2 today, so that's real cool right under Alabama. But they're always competing for championships and quarterbacks winning Heisman trophies and that. So just the success rate up there is it's great.
With
Coming back to school is a big decision, but at AAI, we're with you every step of the way.
We offer career-focused education in skilled trades, and we work with you from the day you enroll through graduation to the ultimate goal of helping you move into the career of your dreams.
Now, if you're wrestling with the decision to come back to school, you may only see the obstacles in your way. We'll help you remove those obstacles one by one and get you where you want to be.
Check us out at aai.edu or call now and come visit with us.
Whenever a craving hits, Jack's got your back.
Somebody craving my really big chicken sandwich?
The really big chicken sandwich combo for $3.99. Double the chicken, double the cheese, topped with hickory smoked bacon, plus curly fries and a refreshing drink. All for just $3.99.
Thanks, Jack.
You're welcome.
The $3.99 really big chicken sandwich combo, only at Jack in the Box.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Takis. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. It's halftime. Centennial leading Pinnacle by a count of 13-3. Well, this week on YurView's high school football recruiting podcast, Josh Ward from WNML Knoxville breaks down the Tennessee-Florida recruiting rivalry. YurView analyst, former Dallas Cowboy and SMU Mustang, and the man sitting right next to me, Dale Hellstray, previews the feature game of the week, plus his thoughts on how Arizona State have struggled with local recruiting. Dale recounts his memories of being recruited back in the SMU Pony Express days. That should be interesting. Matt Mueller, COO of Huddle, discusses the impact Huddle has had on college football and the recruiting process. All of that and more in this week's episode of Over the Middle podcast. You can check that out at yourview.com.
I talked about when I was talking to Mr. Crabtree, the difference between now and then is, you know, Huddle, you can go and break up plays, and you can put a highlight film together, and Kevin Smith and I sat down with the Stanford coach, and Rod Dowhauer was his name, and we picked out a game we thought we both played good in, but it was in a silver canister, and guess what? Somebody put it back in the wrong canister. It was a game that we didn't play very well in. Needless to say, about a quarter into it, Mr. Dowhauer said, "Very nice to meet you two young men." And we never heard from Stanford again.
That was it.
That was all she wrote. So today, yeah, you don't make that mistake. You got Huddle, you got all these other things, and boy, it starts a lot sooner too. I don't know if it's better if you're a high school kid. Like if I'm Spencer Rattler and I'm getting tons of offers everywhere, I want to go on a couple recruiting visits. I don't want to do everything off season. I want them to pay for me to come to their campus and give me an official visit and things like that. But I guess there's so much pressure on some of these kids that they're forced to make the decision early.
And Centennial kicks it off to start the second half, and it goes out of bounds. Let's send it down to the sidelines, and Sydney Carriel had a chance to catch up with Pinnacle head coach Dana Zupke just a moment ago. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. I talked to Coach Zupke a few minutes ago, and I asked how he's going to get the offense going. He said, we have to find a way to open our passing game and try to work to our inside receiver. I asked him about his defense. How are they going to keep it up? How are they going to stop them? He said, we have to tackle. He reiterated, we have to tackle and start bringing them down. He said, this team's never been scored on, and this is the closest game they've had, and we've been in these kind of games before. This isn't unfamiliar territory for us. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sydney, as his offense now takes the field.
There is something to be said about that, too. You're used to playing in close games, and this is just like no big deal. You haven't played in close games. A little pressure sometimes. Let's see how Pinnacle can respond here early in the third quarter.
And they do just that. Rattler hits wide receiver Parker Red, a pickup of 22 yards.
What a nice target, kind of across the middle, 6'4". You see Spencer Rattler, he's always on the move. Throws the ball a little bit high. Pretty good coverage down the field by Jaden Young.
Covington with the run up the middle. Nice pickup there for the running back, and more on Spencer Rattler. In talking with Coach Zupke, he said Rattler is very accurate, makes plays. He doesn't get rattled. Extremely competitive, and he has that it factor. And he's not afraid to throw the ball, as you just mentioned, Dale, into some tight windows.
Rattler doesn't get rattled. They should come up with T-shirts like that if he can lead them to victory tonight.
Well, it's kind of like the graphic off the top of the broadcast, the rattle and hum, little U2 reference. 2nd and 4. Rattler finds the receiver. Once again, Parker Red. First down, Pioneers. Speaking of U2, Dale, they'll be in town on Monday.
Good for them.
Not so much for you.
No. There's Monday Night Football on Monday. U2, please.
That's what your phone's for. You can watch games now on your phone. We got a flag.
So they got offsides.
Encroachment. Defense.
Centennial.
5-yard penalty. First down.
Boy, such an important drive. I always like to see the first drives offensively for both teams coming out of halftime, which coaching staffs make a couple changes. Again, you can't change your entire offense, but there can be a couple subtleties that you can put in at halftime that can put stress on the defense.
Both teams with 3 penalties each here tonight. Covington picks up a couple of yards on what was 1st and 5.
My goodness, yeah, it's almost like Mike Brown, Dana Zupke are kind of feeling out the Centennial defense. They're handing the ball off. You know, you're gaining some yards, but Centennial's got to be careful. Those defensive ends kind of crashing down awful quick if Rattler happens to keep that ball. A lot of room outside.
Rattler rolling out right on the run, giving chases. Jordan Ware, and Ware brings him down. Great pursuit by the linebacker.
But not in time to stop him from a first down. And this Pinnacle offense right now moving the football. Next step, can we put the ball in the end zone? You know, watch the fake handoff. Watch all the jerseys converge here. And if it wasn't for the athletic ability of Ware getting out there, there's a lot of room for an athletic quarterback.
Rattler hits Parker Red once again. So that's 3 catches on this drive for Parker Red.
Again, I love a 6'4" target. That's like my security blanket if I'm a quarterback. 6'4", 190 pounds, good hands. You can tell he's tough and physical. Going to catch the ball in traffic. Don't know why he only has one sleeve on.
It's a good look for him. Trips right, bunched together. Covington has the pass bounce right off him.
Boy, one of those inside screens, and I just always get a little weary. There's so many bodies inside. Get a hand up, ball gets deflected. There's so many things that can happen, especially down here inside the red zone where that field shrinks. Those defensive backs don't have to worry about getting beat deep.
Pinnacle, 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Covington in the backfield. Rattler rolls left, throws the end zone. Touchdown, Pinnacle. Hayden Hatton. Let's go. So the Pioneers with their first touchdown of the night, and their first touchdown against Centennial's defense all season long.
Coming right into your living room. Hatton doesn't catch that ball. Your TV screen's getting knocked over. Came into the game, 27 catches, 360 yards and 5 touchdowns. Really nice job by Pinnacle, mixing it up, running the football, throwing the ball, having Centennial's defense on its heels.
Veach on for the extra point, up and good. And Pinnacle trims that lead with the opening drive of the second half. Spencer Rattler to Hayden Hatton for the touchdown. Let's step aside for a short timeout. Stay tuned for more game time on YurView. Centennial leading Pinnacle 13-10.
Tonight's Game Time delivery of the game is brought to you by Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Family owned since 1960. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
on, buddy. You can do it. Oh, man. So good to be on. Oh!
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Game time on YurView, Thursdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Via Luna, proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Centennial leading Pinnacle by a score of 13-10. Here is tonight's delivery of the game. Earlier tonight, one of Arizona's local sponsors, Red Devil Italian Restaurant, was happy to deliver some food to the Centennial cheer squad for all of their hard work, our delivery of the game. All the seniors and captains, the Pinnacle cheerleaders, enjoying some Red Devil pizza. And here is that delivery. Spencer Rattler hitting Hayden Hatton, the 10-yard touchdown. First TD of the night for the Pioneers, and the first TD that Centennial defense has given up.
Nice job by Rattler. And again, when I look at a high school quarterback, you can roll out to your left, get your shoulders turned towards the line of scrimmage and throw the ball with as much zip and accuracy as Spencer Rattler. You're really good.
And let's now send it down to the sidelines in Sydney Carriel.
Thanks, Chris. Right before the Pioneers went and scored that touchdown, Spencer Rattler came running to the side and was like, Coach, we have to run this play. We have to run this play. Coach told him, go for it. And they trusted him, and look what happened. Guys, back to you.
Thank you so much, Sydney. And that's showing a little bit of trust in your three-year starting quarterback.
Well, it does. And obviously, there's certain guys who have that trust with the coaching staff and others that don't. I mean, if our producer Rich Reed back in '78 ran to his coach at Arcadia and said, let's run this, I don't think the coach is running it. And maybe not even me at Saguaro in 1979 or 80. So, but Spencer Rattler has earned a little bit of that with his performance.
And Rich Reed would have been asking the coach to kick it. Zidane Thomas continues to just power his way through that Pinnacle defense. He is just an absolute wrecking ball out there.
Well, what's kind of interesting to me, and Sydney talked to Dana Zupke, and yes, as a coach, as an observer, you go, well, look, just tackle the guy. We got guys there, tackle him. We got to get him on the ground. Well, it's one thing to say it, for me sitting up here, for Coach Zupke on the sideline. It's another thing to get the guy on the ground. And there's a reason Thomas is as strong and as quick and as recruited as he is, because he's really good.
Beltran with the pitch outside to Alex Escobar. And that is a nice tandem to have. You got Zidane Thomas, who had 164 yards rushing in the first half. Then you got a guy like Alex Escobar that can come in and relieve Thomas.
Escobar, 5'8", 180 pounds, just a little option here. You fake the handoff, then you run down the line. Just put so much pressure on the perimeter of your defense, and that's what Centennial does. They make you cover sideline to sideline.
Centennial, two receivers to the left. Thomas in the backfield, the lone back, takes the handoff. Got a flag on the play as Thomas falls forward for what would be a 9-yard gain. But let's see what the penalty is for.
Well, by that body language, I would think that it might be against Centennial. Sometimes players react before they actually know.
And Zidane knew, apparently. Richard Taylor wants to have a little chat with the official.
Illegal shift. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Well, I think maybe Coach Taylor should arrange a bowling night over the next couple weeks. I mean, like, take his coaches out there bowling, get away from football a little bit. I mean, Coach Taylor, You know, he's got an offense coordinator, defense coordinator, special teams coach. He's kind of like the overseer. Hey, let's go bowling one night, guys.
I think fishing might work. I know Richard Taylor's a big fishing guy. Might be more his speed. But yeah, you're right. Get him away from the game for a little bit.
And you said you didn't call stuff that didn't matter.
1st and 15 Coyotes from their own 39-yard line. And Chris Harris here along with Dale Hellestray. Thomas left side. Great job coming up and making the stop for Pinnacle. Bennett Leby, the senior safety.
5'10", 170 pounds, comes running out of the secondary, meets him head on. Below his center of gravity, nice open field tackle by Leby there. Again, everybody going out here. You see the big boys out in front, but that's just a good open field tackle, and you do not see Zidane Thomas brought down by one guy very often.
Especially a guy that Thomas has got 35 pounds on. We've seen how tough it has been for the rest of the Pinnacle defense to bring him down. One wide receiver split left, one to the right, two back set. Beltran fakes the handoff, rolls right. Hauling in the catch for the Coyotes is number 40, Derek Jodarski.
Rolling out to the right off of play action. You're thinking going to suck the linebackers in. Pretty good coverage outside, but good execution by that Centennial offense. Again, if Centennial's going to win a state championship, then Ruben Beltran's going to have to do enough to keep defenses honest. Little things like that.
And he helped get the Coyotes to the state championship game last year, where they fell just short against Williams Field, 14-6. And another great run there by Alex Escobar. And the left side of the Centennial offensive line continues to get some work done.
Again, we're running to the left. Let's take a look at these three guys on the offensive line, and do they get the job done? That's Fife at left tackle. You see the movement he gets there. And then it's just mano a mano, able to pick up the first down. A really nice job by that offensive line. You get the running back to the second level without being touched, you got to take a lot of credit for that.
Look at those rushing numbers. Centennial with 221, and we're just midway through the third quarter.
4 on the offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Delay of game against the Coyotes.
And Coach Taylor, usually the back judge, when it gets down inside of 5 seconds, will motion 5, 4, 3. They didn't see any of that. And now Richard Taylor is going to say something to the officials, and then say something to his coaching staff about let's get the plays in there a little bit quicker.
No bowling, no fishing, not yet. 1st and 15. Thomas is going to get bottled up by that Pinnacle defense. And we got flags flying from everywhere.
It's like a little extracurricular activity. They're close to that Pinnacle bench.
A little bit of giving them the business.
And Centennial's walking backwards.
We have two fouls on play, one on each team. Dead ball, personal foul, number 28 of the defense. Dead ball, personal foul, number 14 of the offense. Those penalties offset, second down.
So again, probably a little warning to both sidelines. Things maybe get a little chippy, and that's a way to send a message. And you mention something to each coach and say, hey, make sure your kids are staying in line, and let's move on from here. No harm, no foul, in other words.
Second down, 14 to go for the Coyotes from the Pinnacle 48-yard line. One receiver up top, one down low. Thomas with the carry, cuts it inside, fumble, ball's on the ground. Pinnacle recovers. Huge play there by the Pioneers defense. And coming up with the ball, number 18, Tucker Parrish, the senior safety.
Well, you talk about Dana Zupke and talking to Sydney, what did they need to do? They need to get Zidane Thomas on the ground. Ball gets knocked just a little bit loose there. Able to get a bunch, and again, a lot of white jerseys around the football. See if you can kind of stick your head on the ball. Again, Levy, number 5, I believe, started the fumble, but look at the white jerseys around the football to pounce on it.
Give credit to Kyle Carricker. Number 44 was able to punch that ball away. And in on the recovery, Tucker Parrish. Pinnacle's offense back out on the field. 1st and 10 from their own 37-yard line. Maybe a little momentum change here. Pinnacle drove down for the touchdown, their opening drive of the half, then the defense comes up with a turnover.
Obviously, the 3rd quarter has been all Pinnacle, and we talked about, taking baby steps and, maybe get a field goal. They got the field goal, then they get a touchdown, and now your defense gets off the field with a turnover. Can your offense make it pay off?
Rattler going up top, tries to find his receiver. Hayden Hatton, what a matchup that was with Dom Hampton, the premier cornerback in the state for Centennial.
Hampton, a 10, 800-meter guy. Obviously very highly regarded. He's committed to the University of Washington. Just see his size, 6'2", 185 pounds.
And check out this marlin that Hayden and his identical twin brother Hogan Hatton caught over in Hawaii, a 220-pound marlin. Those guys reeled in, and that was one of their buddies, Clay. They're doing a little pose with the fish. 220-pound marlin. Those guys reeled in. Pretty impressive stuff. Rattler looks down the field, throws it over everybody. The intended receiver was Jack Jepson.
So again, nice job by Centennial's defense coming in on the quick change, forcing a 3 and out, give the ball right back to your offense, and going to send Spencer Rattler back out there to punt this ball. Again, if you're any football team facing Pinnacle this year, you sit there and kind of shake your head because they can run a fake at any time. You see the son of Richard Taylor, Andrew Taylor.
Dad didn't give him any props in that little soundbite there, but we'll take care of Andrew here.
I think he at least needs to take him bowling, for crying out loud.
Andrew's so involved in the program, he makes sure that weight room's open 365 days out of the year. That's why you see those impressive numbers. Fake punt, another 1st down. Rattler to Hatton, and how about that?
Well, that's it. I think anytime Rattler is back there, there's a threat of a run, there's a threat of a pass, and as a special teams coach, look, I mean, Centennial's not rushing this punt. They're trying to play defense, and yet there's so many options. I'm not so sure Pinnacle might not line up in punt formation on every offensive down.
It's been one of their best offensive plays on the night as Covington gets the carry.
You can see Covington feeling a little more comfortable. That offensive line, Fox and Mickelson, Verbalitis, Ashenbrand, Milbrandt, all doing a nice job kind of settling in on that offensive line.
49 yards on the night so far for Covington. You got a whistle for the snap.
There'll be a pre-snap penalty and a post-snap penalty. You know, an official's busy when his flag's gone, so he has to throw his hat.
Sure got a big roar from the Pinnacle sideline.
Because I think that's going to be a 15-yarder, and whatever happens on the pre-snap penalty is not going to affect it all that much.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Number 21. That's a 5-yard penalty. Dead ball. Personal foul. Number 21. That's a 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
I'm not sure if we have a shot of it, but again, you're going to every once in a while jump off sides, but it's the post-snap penalties that will get you beat. You can see Richard Taylor upset. You'd like your team to be physical.
Again, penalties. Big story for Centennial. 7 on the night for 44 yards. Just under 5 minutes remaining. Centennial leading Pinnacle 13-10, and another flag.
Sideline warning. Centennial.
Well, and that's, you know what, a nice way of officiating. You now have a warning. I've heard enough of you. They've been biting in his ear probably for the last couple series. Official said, I'm going to throw a flag. I'm going to give you a warning. Next time, it's going to cost you 15 yards.
It's the way to take control of the game. Covington. Pinnacle's done a nice job here in the second half offensively of moving the ball in this Centennial defense.
I've been able to run the ball a little bit and see him score a touchdown, first touchdown that Centennial's given up all year. Obviously the first points they've given up all year. You see the offensive coordinator Mike Brown, as good an offensive mind as there is here in the state of Arizona.
2 receivers left, 2 to the right, 3rd and 5. Covington the lone back. Rattler tries to get to the outside. Now spins back around. Fumble. Ball is loose. Rattler's able to recover it, but a huge, huge play defensively by Centennial. The fumble pushes the Pioneers all the way back to the 49-yard line.
I guess the one question I would have for Mike Brown is why with the right-handed quarterback does it seem like 90% of Rattler's rollouts are to his left, making it so much more difficult for a right-handed quarterback to get his shoulders turned around and throw the football down the field with strength and accuracy.
And it was Franklin, Jacob Franklin, that knocked the ball loose for Centennial. Let's hear the
holding. Number 15 on the defense. 10-yard penalty for.
What a huge penalty that is.
I couldn't really hear what the call was there.
But the ball's being spotted at the Centennial 39-yard line.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how the ball could be spotted there. The defensive penalty during, so I think if you're Coach Zupke, you need an explanation from the officiating crew here, whether there was or wasn't holding. That goes back to the original line of scrimmage, and the penalty starts from there. It doesn't start from where the ball ended up.
Because the ball was recovered at the Centennial 49-yard line, and it now sits at the 39-yard line. So now it's 3rd and 25 for Pinnacle. Rattler across the middle over the outstretched hands of Hayden Hatton. Incomplete. It's going to set up 4th and 25.
Again, the ball a little bit high. When we've seen Rattler miss tonight, it's been high. Usually when you're throwing the ball high, low, it has to do with mechanics, something that I'm sure he can work on a little bit. But again, not the end of the road for Pinnacle. Looks like they're going to try 56, 57-yard field goal.
57-yard field goal attempt is what they're lining up for Jacob Veach. I got to think you got to look for a fake here if they do go for it, because in talking with Pinnacle head coach Dana Zupke, he said Veach's range was 45 yards.
Well, maybe the way the wind would blow my hair around in the open, it's going to be behind the kick, and he might be able to have a chance to make one, and we're in high altitude over here in Peoria.
Just be happy you had some hair moving, Mr. Hellestray.
Very true. You see the second half yards. Give credit to this Pinnacle offense, moving the football a little bit, and the defense when they've been on the field, making some plays.
Let's now send it down to the sidelines and Sydney Carriel. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. Earlier, after Zidane Thomas fumbled, he went directly to the bench, sat down, and left his helmet on. Coach Taylor walked directly over to him, patted him on the shoulder, said, "It's okay, shake it off, we're good." Patted him again and said, "Let's go." Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Sydney. That's great coaching there by Richard Taylor. Letting him know his go-to back, 186 yards on the night. You got to forget about that play.
That's not real hard. I mean, it's hard to come up to Chris Harris, who hadn't done much, and say, "Chris, everything will be all right." If it's Zidane Thomas, you know what? I'll carry you back out on the football field the next series.
Thanks for the pep talk, Dale. Here it is, the 57-yard field goal attempt by Veach. And it's going to be returned now for Centennial.
Yeah, and it's going to be an illegal block.
Penalties, flags everywhere.
I wish they would blow plays dead, special teams-wise, when that happens. It's an illegal block. The only thing that can happen is somebody get hurt. And it looks like, again, it's going to be Dominique Hampton. And I know he's a highly recruited guy, but he's costing his team an awful lot of yards this evening.
Hampton will be going up to the University of Washington next year. Well, he'll pair up with former Swirl Sabercat, now starting cornerback for the Huskies, Byron Murphy.
I don't know if I've seen so many officials with flags and hats on the field.
Whatever they can get their hands on.
Personal foul. Number 21, roughing the snapper. Personal foul, blindside block. That penalty is declined for 15 yards, first down, automatic.
So the ball's going back to Pinnacle. I mean, we're trying, you know, so you see the block in the back, the whole roughing the snapper thing. As a former snapper, I take exception to the rule. I don't like the fact that you can't even line up over a guy anymore. If you breathe on him, it's 15 yards. That's the rule, so if you're an official, you have to call it. And if you're a coach and player, you have to play by the rules. Don't have to like the rules, but you'd have to adhere to the rules. And well, Pinnacle will get the ball on the 24-yard line.
What a big break here for the Pioneers, and once again, penalties hurting Centennial. So it's 1st and 10, Pinnacle, and we've got another whistle.
Offense number 2, 5-yard penalty, first down.
The flags are fast and furious right now.
Well, they are, and what's tough to understand, because both coaches are very upset, because that would, I don't, again, you complete a 70-yard pass down the field, it's tough to kind of regain your composure. This was a change of possession, basically. They don't even huddle up. How do you have to delay a game when you're not even huddling up?
It's a good question. Rattler down the middle. And another flag.
Well, there was contact down the field. It's going to be interesting. Do they call offensive or pass or defensive pass interference? That's going to make the Centennial crowd very happy. Again, rolling out to the right. Rattler, just like most other quarterbacks, throw a lot better rolling
Defense,
to the right.
Number 3, half the distance to the goal, first down.
You see the contact down the field by Jaden Young. The thing that I think bothers coaches more than anything is the fact that Jaden Young didn't even have to make contact. He didn't have to leave it in the hands of the officials. That ball was not going to be caught.
Jaden Young had a fistful of jersey on that play. 1st and 10 now. The Pioneers from the 14-yard line of Centennial. Covington, big hole up the middle. Touchdown, Pioneers. Caleb Covington with the score. from 15 yards out.
You can see this Pinnacle team. Just watch right here in the middle and watch how it opens up for Covington. Nice job by that offensive line. You see the downfield blocking. Really nice job there by number 42, and that is Hogan Hatton. Lead blocking, basically an ISO block, opening up the hole, and Covington finding the daylight, taking advantage. You can say whether the officials influence that or not. You still have to take advantage of it. Pinnacle's able to do that.
And they now lead 17-13 with 2:56 remaining in the third quarter.
So really nice job by that Pinnacle offensive line, but you see Covington burst through. You see the vision cut back where a lot of yards are available if you have the speed and vision to get back there. Covington, the 175-pound junior, able to do that.
Let's see how Centennial responds. They now trail 17-13. Look at the scoring drive here. 11 plays, 63 yards in just 3.5 minutes.
Well, it seems like it took about 15 minutes with all the penalties and conversations and all that, but game time, 3.5 minutes. But at the end of the day, now this Pinnacle team and, you know, coaching staff can believe and a fan base can believe, but do your players believe? And I believe this team right now, who's in here with 2 minutes, 56 seconds left in the third quarter, this football team believes that they can play with Centennial.
Veach to kick it off for Pinnacle. Alex Escobar is deep for the Coyotes. And along that point, Dale, I mean, there's a reason why Pinnacle and Centennial, they schedule so many tough teams to know they don't get rattled, don't get flustered. There's plenty of football to play here.
Well, I've always told coaches, it's your choice if you win a state championship, whether you want to put the record on the ring. You can be 14-0 and put that on the ring. You could be 12-2 and win the state championship. The ring and the trophy are the goal, and I do like teams that schedule a little tougher competition.
Escobar drags a couple Pinnacle defenders. Nice pickup there for Alex. And Centennial, that's a school that's very familiar with winning state championships. Richard Taylor with 5 of them. I don't think he cares what the record is, but he likes having the jewelry.
So I think as we wind down towards 2 minutes here in the third quarter, I think we're in for a heck of a fourth quarter in this football game, exactly what we were hoping for.
Pitch to Thomas. Cuts it back in. Great job defensively. Tucker Parrish had containment on the outside. Forced Thomas back inside and made the tackle.
Just watch over here. Watch the penetration that comes through for Pinnacle. Just a tremendous job fighting through blockers, continuing to battle through, making tackles you're not going to get credit for, but Marcuson is putting himself together one heck of a football game.
Third down conversions. 2 for 5 on the night for Centennial. Thomas picks up another one and more for the Coyotes. Zidane Thomas is on the loose, breaks another tackle. Thomas, touchdown, Centennial. A 73-yard scamper, Zidane Thomas.
I've got to meet young Zidane Thomas here real soon. He's got the most awkward, stiff arm I've seen of an elite player, but players fall down. Watch it. You come here. That's with his left arm. Guy goes flying by. Watch here. He's going to come with his right arm. That's not even a stiff arm. And players fall down. It's just amazing to me the strength that this young man has.
Extra points up and good by Rojas. Thomas now on the night, 18 carries, 259 yards and a pair of touchdowns.
Well, if he's going to stay on pace for 440 yards, he's got to pick up the pace here at the end of the third quarter for crying out loud. Now he's getting tired.
Are we still going over/under on the 440?
Yeah, he's not getting to 440, but my goodness, he could get close. Such a special treat to watch him run the football. And again, I just want to see. You've seen stiff arms, and a guy sticks a stiff arm out there and can knock somebody backwards, but he just like flicks at him like he's killing a fly or a mosquito or something. 200-pound kids fall on the field.
Let's look at the scoring drive. 3 plays, 80 yards, 72 of them on the 73 of them, sorry, a Thomas touchdown run. And talking with Coach Taylor about Zidane, asked him about his running style. He said he's physical, aggressive, and chaotic. He said he just has a weird way sometimes of shaking his leg around and getting himself out of tackles.
I just think he's stronger than most. I think he's got better vision than most, and he's tougher than most. You put all that together in one 5'10", 205-pound package, and you've got a really special football player.
And he'll be heading to Boise State next season to play for the Broncos. Big pickup here. Pinnacle on the loose. Is Johnson in down the sidelines before finally being brought down by Kieran Clark. But what a big return there. 64 yards for Amalek Juntanen, the junior.
Yeah, not sure if you plan to kick the ball off that short, but you do, and that first wave misses. Have some decent blocking up front. Really nice job by Pinnacle.
Let's now send it down to the sidelines in Sydney Carriel. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. Amalek Juntanen was originally born in Haiti, but in 2006, Amalek and his 2 siblings were adopted by Craig Juntanen and his wife. Craig and his wife started a campaign called Both Ends Burning, making an effort to reform the current system of international adoption. Ultimately, they want to bring attention to this situation and give orphan children a voice. Guys?
Thanks so much, Sydney. A great story. But now Centennial's defense comes up with a big play, and it's the senior, Alex Escobar, recovering the fumble.
Well, again, that's one of those things. There's a hole there. You're gaining yardage. You have a great kickoff return. Momentum is back on your side. Looks like a hand came in there and swatted at the ball. We'll see it here on the replay. Watch the hole open up, and Covington right there. Nice lead block. Come in there from the backside and knock the ball loose.
So
that's going to be number 32 for Centennial, doing a great job ripping that ball out. That's Connor Knutson.
So a big turn of events. Coyotes defense coming up big. Now it's Zidane Thomas once again. We just saw him getting stretched out a little bit on the sidelines. Looks like he's okay.
Well, he's got a little more old Campbell in him than I thought. I mean, he's over there. I thought he could take a series or 2 off. He needs his hamstring stretched. And oh, we got the ball back. I'm good to go, Coach.
Feeling a little bit better.
Boy, it's been a chaotic third quarter here in this football game.
45 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Well, it was interesting you talking to Richard Taylor. You know, they had 4 different ISO plays. I mean, they're going to have a lead blocker coming from different directions and still run the ball in about the same place put in for this play to try and pose their physicality on Pinnacle.
Beltran with the keeper. Got another flag down. Been a busy game for the officials tonight. So that'll push Centennial back 5 yards.
Yeah, when you see the officials perspiring more than the players,
They're using a lot of muscles throwing those flags.
It's never a good
Illegal
sign.
formation. 5 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So they'll bring up 1st and 15 now for Centennial. Under 20 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Alex Escobar with the carry. Turns it up the sidelines. Nice job doing some work on the sidelines there by Escobar.
Well, and Escobar, pound for pound, the strongest guy on the Centennial team. You know, we talk about Zidane Thomas and his strength, but Escobar matches him in just about everything as far as strength goes. Escobar's actually smaller, 5'8", 180 pounds. So it's amazing to me when Thomas is averaging 13 yards a carry coming into the game. Escobar almost 11 yards per carry coming into the game.
It's quite a 1-2 punch for Centennial, no doubt about it. 2nd and 9 should be the last play of the quarter. Thomas gets bottled up, and that will do it. We are through 3 quarters here at Centennial High School. The Game Time Game of the Week on YurView from Arizona. We head into the 4th quarter, and Centennial leading Pinnacle by a count of 20-17.
Tonight's Game Time Timeout is brought to you by Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
Ford was the only company that we really wanted to go with. Their reputation, the credibility that they have, Sanderson has that. Sanderson Ford does a really good job with their start team. They got with each one of my kids and sat in the car with them, went over every detail of the car. And for them to take the time with each one of my kids and go over every little detail in the car, that's pretty unique.
Ford, America's best-selling brand. Sanderson Ford, America's best-selling Ford dealership.
Tonight's YurView Game Time Injury Report is sponsored by Phoenix Children's Hospital, Arizona's best children's hospital.
Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation, all fall long, only on YurView.
It's the National High School Football Game of the Week on YurView from Arizona. Centennial leading Pinnacle by a count of 20-17. Coyote fans fired up on Hawaiian night. Start of the 4th quarter, 3rd and 5 for Centennial from their own 20. Escobar turns it upfield. It's going to be close to a first down to see what the spot is. And they will move the chains. First down, Centennial.
As I said, you got to be able to throw a couple passes, keep the defenses honest. Nice job by Escobar catching the football, getting out in the flat, picking up the first down. Nice job by Ruben Beltran. Talked about it there early in the football game. Ruben Beltran, 6 touchdowns, no interceptions coming into the game, almost 77% completion rate.
Does a great job of taking care of the ball. Thomas continues to just shred this Pinnacle defense.
Again, you start talking about different ways to run ISO. Just watch this offensive line. Watch the movement they get at the point of attack. Get the fullback leading up, just pushing through, finishing blocks. Number 78, Daniel Thomas with the flat back. And you can run ISO 4 and 5 different ways if you're Centennial.
Thomas 288 yards before this carry as he drags a few more Pioneers.
Well, Zidane's kind of see a flag come in late, kind of disappointing me. He's only on pace now for 360 yards.
That 440 is not going to happen
well,
for you?
no, I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but he's on pace for only 360.
Dead ball. Personal foul, late hit, number 28 on the defense. The 15-yard penalty, first down.
It's on Dylan Stevenson, the senior defensive back, and those are the things, again, coaches can deal with aggressive penalties. There's going to be holding, there's going to be blocks. Was it extremely physical? No, but did it have to happen? No. I guess in my mind, if you're going to take a shot like that, make it count. And that was something that didn't need to happen.
Beltran gets bottled up by Carricker. Big, huge play there by the Pinnacle linebacker.
Character has been all over the football field from his linebacker position. We've talked about him 6'3", 210 pounds. Had 3 tackles for losses coming into this game. Going to see him come from the right side of your screen here, fighting off blocks and hanging on to Beltran's jerseys. Beltran almost sneaked away.
And we've got a new quarterback now in for Centennial because Ruben Beltran's helmet came off. That means he has to sit out for a play. That brings in Jonathan Morris. And no surprise here, he gives it to Thomas, but Thomas gets tripped up by the turf monster.
Yeah, Thomas didn't get tripped up. The grass caught him, and again, maybe a little bit of that's fatigue. You know, you're going to bring in a backup quarterback. You're not going to ask him to drop back and throw a 9 route. Let's see what happens here as you hand the ball off, and looks like that right foot catches the quarterback's right leg and threw him off balance. And I think probably in the first quarter, second quarter, maybe Thomas able to overcome that, but a little more fatigued here in the fourth quarter.
Beltran back in at quarterback. Didn't see anybody, so he just threw it away.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen to Escobar there, and Pinnacle did a really nice job of sniffing that out, knocking down Escobar. Nowhere to go with the football. You do the smart thing as a quarterback. Don't try and do something miraculous. Throw the ball into the ground and punt the ball away. Let your defense go ahead and do their job. You know, number 4 is Thans Dixon for Pinnacle. We've talked about him. He's pound for pound the strongest on the Pinnacle football team.
4th and 26. A.J. Jackson punts it away. Gonna let this go. Great punt by Jackson as the Coyotes are gonna down the ball at about the 8-yard line. So a terrific punt there by A.J. Jackson. Let's now send it down to the sidelines and Sydney Carriel. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. Centennial's middle linebacker, Christian Gomez, is also an artist. He likes to draw, and he received honorable mention in the Peoria Art Show. He has drawn photos with flowers and other nature things, and he says drawing helps him escape when he's stressed out or when he just needs to get away of things like football or school. So that's just another cool thing he does. Guys, back to you.
Thanks so much, Sydney. Nice catch there. Hogan Hatton, the twin brother of Hayden Hatton, making the play there for Pinnacle.
I'd like to be a twin brother. Hogan, he has a 3.95 GPA. You know what? If I got a 3.95 GPA, I'm strutting into my house and I'm tooting my own horn. And then your twin brother Hayden comes in. He's got a 4.12. That's almost not fair.
It's good, but not as good. that 3.95.
I don't know. Somehow I'm making my 3.95 stand up if I'm Hogan, for crying out loud.
And I talked to Coach Zupke about how he tells the difference between those guys. He said during practice they wear different colored cleats. That's the big giveaway during practices. 2nd and 2, Covington gets brought down. Making the tackle for Centennial is Jaden Young, brother of Dedrick Young, we touched on earlier. 4-year starter at Nebraska.
I've got to cover Dedrick Young in his college career. Started as a true freshman at Nebraska and just had one heck of a career.
Former Centennial standout. 3rd and 3. Pinnacle's got one receiver to the left, one to the right. Rattler going under center. Fakes the handoff. Throws it up. Almost bringing it in is Jordan Ware. Just can't quite haul it in, but a dangerous pass there by Rattler.
Well, and if you're Spencer Rattler, this is a time where you feel with your talent level you need to take over. Centennial did a nice job not biting on the bootleg action. Throws into double coverage, but really nowhere to run for Spencer Rattler, which is exactly what the Centennial defense wanted to prevent. Our crack stats crew just told me Caleb Covington has 81 yards rushing. In my mind's eye, it seems like he has more rushing yards than that.
And now Centennial is going to call a timeout. Let's now hear from Pinnacle head coach Dana Zupke about the expectations for this year's Pioneers team.
Obviously, we want to make the playoffs and see if we can get a run. I think specifically, I think you know, most programs, because we've never been out of the 2nd round, I think that's a big step. If we can find our way into a semifinal game and then see what happens, that would you know, mark success for this year. Although probably on an external level, internally though, I think there would be a lot of disappointment.
They're looking for that gold ball, and tonight, Dale, a little trickery to get the Pioneers going.
Yeah, you take a look at this halfback throwback pass, but again, Centennial has people in place, just better execution by that Pinnacle offense. And again, you see some of the really nice things that Spencer Rattler can do, and we've talked about it when he is back there to punt as a coach for the other team. In this case, Centennial, you kind of have your heart in your throat, wondering what's going to happen next.
Rattler's already completed 2 passes tonight for 1st downs and going for a 3rd one, and they do it once again. 3 for 3.
Well, at the end of the day, you basically have to play man-to-man coverage, and so Spencer Rattler back there, the throw is probably about 10 yards further than he'd actually be making it, but he can pick out the matchup that he likes. You can see him surveying the field from his right to his left, comes back, has the arm. I mean, that's good coverage. That's just better execution by Pinnacle.
So Rattler is now 3 for 3, passing the ball, going for it on 4th down, converting all 3 of the passes for 1st downs, and then Jacob Franklin says, I've had enough of this.
215 pounds. It just, again, you see him coming off the top of your screen, fighting through the block of the running back, and that's really no match. Very physical, violent job by Jacob Franklin.
2nd and 12 now. Rattler hits his receiver, Parker Red. And it's going to be another 1st down for the Pioneers.
A really nice job that time. Very patient by Spencer Rattler. Surveyed the field. Didn't try to force the ball anywhere. Found Red, who he's obviously got a nice connection with. You see the numbers on Parker Red. Picks up the 1st down.
Rattler and the Pinnacle offense have the ball now at their own 48-yard line. 1st and 10. You see the clock, 7:09 remaining. Centennial with the 2017 lead. Now it's just a little game of pitch and catch here, Dale, with Rattler and Parker Red.
I don't know if it's a little game of pitch and catch. It's a little bit more difficult than that, but they're making it look pretty easy right now. That offensive line, we've talked about them. Fox, Mickelson, Verbalitis, Ashenbrand, and Milbrandt, giving Spencer Rattler some time to throw the football. Mike Brown, the mad professor, just loves to do a lot of different things. And when you have that guy pulling the trigger, it makes it a lot of fun.
Second down and 3. A lot of options here for the Pioneers. 3 receivers to the right. Inside handoff to Covington. First down, Pinnacle. It's the second time we've seen that play tonight.
Well, we're going to have to ask Coach Brown the next time that we see him. Why don't you just hand it off with Spencer Rattler's left hand instead of reaching around behind the running back and putting it in with your right hand? I know the ball disappears for a split second behind the running back's back, but is it that, or is it just kind of nifty to do that?
Johnson gets brought down by Jordan Ware, the 10th play of the drive for Pinnacle. Well, it's the professor. He likes to, you know, shake things up a little bit.
Well, it's been a really nice second half for this Pinnacle offense. 3 points in the first half. I know only 14, but they've kind of controlled the pace of play here in the second half.
Rattler rolling left, squares his shoulders, finds his receiver, Jack Jepson.
Well, that's the other. So I'm going to ask him 2 questions. I'm going to ask him, why do you always roll them left? I know you do it every once in a while to keep the defense off balance, but they roll left more than they roll right, unless Spencer has told him, you know what, Coach, I feel more comfortable doing that, which I guess I could buy. But there's, you know, certain guys who, I guess, are right-handed, feel more comfortable shooting a left-handed layup. I'm not sure about that, but I want to ask him that, and I want to ask him about that reverse handoff to Covington.
Mike Brown talking it over. His quarterback and wide receiver. He's still a physics teacher over at Notre Dame Prep, where he spent a few years as a coach over there as well for the Saints. Second half offensively, Pinnacle's run 31 plays, Centennial with 19. So the Pioneers have done a great job here in the second half, moving the ball on the Centennial defense. First and 10, Pinnacle from the 29-yard line. Johnson gets tripped up at the line of scrimmage, but falls forward for a couple yards.
Just trying to run the ball up the middle. Just watch right here. This is Ashenbrand. Watch him pull, kick out right here, hand the ball off, quick hole dive up the middle to be able to skirt through those people and end up picking up 4 or 5 yards. And some people are like, oh, it's only 4 or 5 yards. Guess what? You do that 3 times, it's first down.
Just under 5 minutes remaining. Johnson in again. Gets it to the outside. Big pickup by Johnson. Another first down for Pinnacle. Johnson had a huge game against Chandler earlier in the year. 8 carries for 94 yards and 2 touchdowns. And those touchdowns came in the fourth quarter to help send that game into overtime.
Kind of just a little bit of a fly sweep. Remember, Jutton, he's only a junior, 5'10", 172 pounds. Spencer Rattler, only a junior. Remember, these guys have to play here next year. They can't leave early for the NFL like some of those college juniors can do. So Pinnacle set up very brightly for not only this year, but next year.
And they're looking to punch it in here. 14th play of the drive. That's gone 5 minutes, and we've got another penalty flag.
Ball, delay a game. 5-yard penalty, first down.
See, I guess I don't quite understand that. We've got seasoned coaches on both sidelines, and you can see Mike Brown saying, let's pick up the pace a little bit. But somebody's got to have an eye on that back judge, and the back judge needs to be signaling off the last 5 seconds. And if you're not into the cadence in a no-huddle offense by then, well, then call timeout.
Covington gets stacked up by that Centennial defense. One of the players in on the tackle is Eli Tabanako, the junior nose guard.
Christian Gomez was there, 4-year varsity player, throws the javelin, finished 5th in the state. Physical player. We talked about Jordan Ware and just the lack of height that Centennial defensive line has, but they make up for it with quickness.
2nd and 15. Rattler rolling right. He's just going to throw this one away. Smart play there by Rattler. Didn't have anything, just got rid of it. 3rd and 15. Heads up play by the junior quarterback.
Well, we've seen this a number of times, and I'm not quite sure exactly why, but Garcia continually is unblocked. I mean, he comes running upfield, no help from the tackle, expecting the center to block all the way back. That's just not fair when you got a guy of Garcia's quickness and speed. He's sophomore, 5'9", 220 pounds. That's unfair to ask your center Verbalitis to have to block all the way back.
That brings up 3rd and goal. Rattler being chased again, has a receiver just over the outstretched hands of number 21 for Pinnacle, Jacob Brady.
Had a chance, another one of those juniors buying some time with his feet. Good coverage downfield, trying to throw on the run. Pretty good coverage downfield by Centennial and forced Pinnacle into a field goal attempt with 3:36 left here in the 4th quarter.
Jacob Veach will come on for the 32-yard field goal to tie the game with 3:36 remaining. And we got movement on the line.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So that now becomes a 27-yard field goal attempt for Jacob Veach. To try to tie this game up. Veach came into tonight's game 3 of 3 on the season with a long of 37. Right down the middle. And we are tied at 20. 3:31 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Stay tuned for more game time on YurView 2020. Centennial and Pinnacle. We'll be right back.
Action.
Comedy. Horror.
Speak. Find. Feel. This is the all-new Contour from Cox. It's cable TV reimagined to get you right to the good stuff.
What makes EVIT better than other schools is that it's very hands-on, and the teachers, you can tell they really want to teach. They love teaching their students. The people who work here really care about what they're doing.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView here in Arizona, and we are tied 20-20. 3:31 remaining here in the 4th quarter. What a terrific game, as good as advertised here.
Well, it is, and basically everything we talked about as far as who's going to step up, what both teams need to do. Centennial on Monday or tomorrow morning when they're watching, or Saturday morning when they're watching this film. Penalties going to really bother them, but they can run the football on anybody in the state.
Veach with the kick. And it's going to go out of bounds. So it's Jacob Veach with the 27-yard field goal that tied this game at 20 apiece. What an incredible drive here by Pinnacle. 16 plays, 81 yards, 5:56 off the clock.
Got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff of Pinnacle. You got to give a lot of credit to Spencer Rattler doing a really nice job making some plays with his feet. But then again, there's 3 minutes, 31 seconds left in this game. You can't kick the ball out of bounds. You can't give this Centennial football team good field position to start a possible game-winning drive.
And the Coyotes will start this drive from their own 35-yard line. Single receiver up top. One to the left, Thomas. Great job defensively there by Pinnacle. And it was Thans Dixon, the junior outside linebacker, making the tackle.
Well, at the end of the day, Centennial, as I talked about earlier, you got to be able to complete some passes down the field. You got to be able to threaten the other team down the field a little bit. And right now, Pinnacle has no fear of Centennial throwing the ball down the field on them.
Just under 3 minutes remaining, 2nd and 8.
They have 11
9 in
guys.
The box, yeah.
They have 11 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
And Zidane Thomas still picks up 9 yards on the carry.
18 yards passing for Centennial. And if you take a look at this, all 11 white jerseys are within 6 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Thomas now, 300 yards, Dale.
Falling behind my pace, but still not a bad outing for a mid-September night.
You're okay with that, 300? It's a passable grade for you? 1st and 10, Coyotes from their own 46, 2:23 remaining. Thomas, left side, makes the turn down the sideline. We got a flag on the play. And actually, one of Centennial's players caught it.
Yeah. That's frustrating if you're an offensive lineman. Official throws a flag and it hits you. Probably shouldn't do that. That's frustrating. You watch this thing unfold. The holding happened down the field, so that'll be from the point of the infraction.
Offense number 23, 10-yard penalty. Repeat, 1st down.
Just watch. I want you to watch over here. This is Jacob Fife. He's 290-pound junior offensive lineman. Just watch the athleticism. This is a reach block. Look at that, turns, pins, and then Zidane Thomas goes on. Not sure where the holding call was there. Looked like a lot of physical blocking downfield, but brings up 1st and about 15.
Alex Escobar cuts it back inside. Some tough running there by the senior Escobar.
Well, what's interesting, you're sitting here, okay, if you're Centennial, you have 2 timeouts left. There's 1 minute and 45 seconds left in this game. You're not quite to midfield. Do you have confidence in Ruben Beltran to complete a couple passes down the field, give your kicker a chance to win this game?
Or just hand it off to Zidane Thomas and let him do what he's been doing all night long. 2nd and 9 from the 46. 1:22 remaining, 4th quarter. Thomas, right side, tries to bounce it to the outside. Carricker in on the tackle. It will bring up 3rd down for the Coyotes.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I have a feeling that you're going to want to try and get this 1st down before using your timeouts. But again, there's no sense of urgency from this Centennial football team. And time continues to dwindle as we're under 1 minute left here in the 4th quarter.
Centennial still has a pair of timeouts. 3rd and 4, 45 seconds left. Thomas, 1st down, Coyotes. Thomas finally gets brought down at the 37-yard line, 40 seconds remaining. And the Centennial's going to have a hurry-up offense as they wait for the first down markers to get set, and they're going to spike the ball. Now Centennial's kicker, Xavier Rojas, he has a range of up to 57 yards. He's a 4-star kicker for Coles and Sailor, and he's got an offer from Culver Stockton in Missouri. So the Coyotes have a weapon here in their place kicker.
Well, if you're telling me he has a 57-yard range, if they don't gain one more yard, they're at 55 right now, so you're telling me that they're within range.
They most certainly are right now, as Thomas again with another big run for Centennial. But we have another flag on the play. And that's a tough break there for Pinnacle.
Face mask on the defense, number 5. Half the distance to the goal line. First down.
Just power football running down. Levy gets his hand in the face mask, trying anything to get this beast on the ground. Again, you can talk about it all you want. You can talk about keeping Spencer Rattler in the pocket. You can talk about tackling Zidane Thomas. It's one thing to talk about it. It's another thing to do it.
Let's now take a look at the national TV schedule. Coming to a YurView channel in your area. Next week, you got in Oklahoma, you've got Union and Edmond North. Be back here in Arizona on October 12th. Desert Ridge and Mountain Point. That should be a nice ball game there.
Well, a lot of those names you've heard around the country, and if not, it's some really good high school football out there.
Zidane Thomas, it's been his night, over 300 yards rushing for the Coyotes.
I can tell you, if I take nothing away from this football game, it's what is with his stiff arm. Guys go down, and he doesn't really even stiff arm them. It's mystifying to me. I know he's 210 pounds, he's strong, and I mean, that's not even a real stiff arm, but guys go down.
We'll have to talk to Mr. Thomas before the next game. We have them in a couple of weeks, and Centennial is just going to push forward.
No, they're not. That was almost a fumble. Quarterback center exchange, one of those things you take for granted, and people falling over each other, and that ball bounced out from Beltran's hands. It was in midair, and Beltran able to catch the football.
Clock's winding down. Richard Taylor finally gets his timeout with 6 seconds remaining.
Looks like the ball goes kind of up in the air there, does a smart thing, although he'd probably rather hand it off to Zidane Thomas, hang on to the football. Now, it's going to be interesting to see what Pinnacle and Dana Zupke does here. Do you let them get all lined up and then do what all these NFL coaches do and call a timeout? Do you let them go ahead and kick it? Going to be kind of fun to watch that.
Let's take a look now at the Division 6A rankings here in Arizona. The Perry Pumas on top, followed by Mountain View and defending state champion Chandler and these Pinnacle Pioneers.
Boy, everybody kind of had Hamilton Baird after the first week, and they've had a nice little revival.
Now look at the 5A rankings, and it's these Centennial Coyotes trying to keep their record unblemished here as Xavier Rojas comes on for the field goal attempt. 6 seconds remaining. Game tied at 20. And Dana Zupke's going to call the timeout, Dale. There's your answer.
Well, my only thing with it is, I believe, you see it in college and the NFL, once the snapper puts his hands on the ball, you should not be allowed to call timeout anymore.
It's got to happen before.
It's got to happen before he does that. But again, you don't have to like the rule, but you play by the rules. So if that's not the rule, then you do it whenever you want to do it and put as much pressure as you can on the other team and see if they can't respond.
Our kicker on the crew, Rich Reed in the truck, says it shouldn't matter.
Ice water in the veins.
He said it shouldn't matter.
Barefooted kicker, didn't matter if it was 110 degrees or if it was 30 degrees. He was nailing this field goal 9.5 times out of 10. Unless there's a media competition somewhere and we need it for the victory, then somehow he might miss one of those.
He comes up clutch. Mr. Reed, now it's Xavier Rojas' turn. It will be a 28-yard field goal attempt for Xavier Rojas to give the Coyotes the lead with 6 seconds remaining. Right down the middle, Centennial. Xavier Rojas with the 28-yard go-ahead field goal. Coyotes lead 23-20 with 1.5 seconds remaining in the game.
Coach Zupski saying the game's not over with. Crazy things have happened. 1.6 seconds left. You understand why you call the timeout with enough time left, because it's only second or third down. Something happens with the snap, something happens with the hold. Guess what? You can line up and do it again, but it does leave 1.6 seconds left on the clock for Pinnacle to possibly do something. He knew that was good. As soon as it left his foot, no better feeling for a kicker than that, and his teammates and all those celebrating with him.
Let's give some credit as well to the long snapper for Centennial, Campbell Riddle.
Yeah, this snap and the hold, everything goes into the successful field goal.
Let's see if Centennial goes for the squib kick here.
And look at Richard Taylor. Cool as the other side of the pillow. Yeah, just another football game, another exciting Thursday night. And
that's what doing 25 years of coaching varsity high school football will do for you.
I understand that, but I don't understand him not looking older outside. I don't care what happens inside. I'm talking about outside. He didn't look any different. I kept my program picture with the Cowboys. I took it in 1990 and 2000. They came back and said, "Hey, do you want to take a new one?" I said, "Heck no. I want to look 28, not 38."
2.3 seconds remaining, and there is your squib kick. It is fielded by Quentin Powell, the fastest player on Pinnacle's team. And he is going to get brought down, and that will do it. The Centennial Coyotes get the victory over the Pinnacle Pioneers by count 23-20. Penalty on the play.
On the return team. That penalty is declined. That's a ball game.
And that will do it. It is a final. Centennial getting the victory over Pinnacle. We're going to step aside for a quick break. We will have more from Centennial High School when we come back. The Coyotes get the win over the Pioneers by count of 23-20. We'll be right back. You're watching Game Time on YurView.
Hey, little man. I'm your new house. Come on in. This is gonna be great. Watch what we can do together. Lights. Ta-da! Locks. Not bad, huh? Oh, and this. I've been saving this for you. You take care of the universe, I'll take care of you.
Cox Home Life. Home security and automation.
Explore the Southwest lifestyle, the culture, the music, the food, y más. Every week, join hosts J.R. Cardenas and Vanessa Ramirez for a Southwest adventure on Subida.
Bringing out your best is her recipe for success.
And this week, we get to meet the creative and successful Latina behind Blush Boutique.
I love her. Wait till you meet her this week on Subida.
Watch Subida every Sunday and Wednesday only on YurView and YurView.com.
What makes even better than other schools is that it's very hands-on, and the teachers, you can tell they really want to teach. They love teaching their students. The people who work here really care about what they're doing.
The YurView Game of the Week is sponsored locally by Sanderson Ford. The best play is at Sanderson Ford. By Jack in the Box. Check out our $3.99 Big Chicken Sandwich. AAI. Turn your dreams into reality with career training from AAI. By Red Devil Italian Restaurant. Family owned since 1960. Circle K. It's time to take a Circle K Polar Pop timeout. By Valle Luna. Proud sponsor of student athletes in Arizona. Phoenix Children's Hospital. Arizona's best children's hospital. And by Takis. Face the intensity.
Welcome back to the Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. And it was the Centennial Coyotes getting the win over the Pinnacle Pioneers by a count of 23-20. Let's now send it down to the field. Sydney Carriel standing by with head coach Richard Taylor and the star of the game, Zidane Thomas. Sydney?
Thanks, Chris. Coach, what a game. Zidane, what a game. What did you tell your guys before that game-winning drive?
I can't remember. And one more time. Can you do it one more time? And his mother was watching the game in Florida. She was watching the game. It was just so wonderful that that happened. And the offensive line did well. You know, we had trouble with special teams. And so that was good. I'm glad to see that for them.
What was it like winning against a great team? This is the closest game you guys had so far. How did you guys get past this?
Well, you know, I was concerned, you know, the first time anybody was going to score on us, and that was going to happen sooner or later. And there, at one point in the game, I felt we lost a little of our composure, but then we regained it back, and we finished it off well.
Zidane, you had that fumble, and then you came back and scored a touchdown. How are you able to mentally get back into the game and refocus?
It was a team effort, and I kind of felt like I let the team down. And everyone on the sideline, they're telling me, like, just stay in there. We're going to keep our composure, keep the energy going. And we came back together as a team and won the game.
You had over 300 yards tonight. How did that feel?
It felt good. I give most of the credit to the receivers blocking on the outside, the offensive linemen, and the head coach and the OC upstairs.
What did you guys learn from this game that you can take on to next game against your rival, Westview, and then after that against a team from Florida?
We learned that as the season progresses, the competition gets harder, so we got to prepare harder and be ready.
Well, thanks, Zidane. Good luck next week. Back to Chris and Dale.
Thank you so much, Sydney. And Zidane Thomas, 316 yards. But you got to like him. He gives all the credit to the offensive line and wide receivers. All right, when we come back, we will have the player of the game, and it won't be much of a surprise. Might have been the guy you just heard from. We'll be back in just a moment.
Your home television.
Hey, little man. I'm your new house. Come on in. This is gonna be great. Watch what we can do together. Lights. Ta-da! Locks. Not bad, huh? Oh, and this. I've been saving this for you. You take care of the universe, I'll take care of you.
Cox Home Life. Home security and automation.
Are you talkies enough?
Capital of Iceland.
Reykjavik. R-E-E-Y.
Whoops.
Takis. Taste the fury of our flavors and face the intensity.
Tonight's Game Time Player of the Game is brought to you by Takis. Face the intensity. Tune in each week as we bring you some of the best players in the nation all fall long, only on YurView.
Welcome back, everybody, as we take a look at the final stats from tonight's game. Centennial remains undefeated, getting the win 23-20. Nice win here for the Coyotes.
And if you're Pinnacle, I'm going to take a look at this and say, you know what? How can we get better? How can we win a football game? We get better on third down situations. And if I'm Centennial, I'm looking at the penalties, saying we've obviously got to cut them down. But I just wanted to point out what a great kid Zidane Thomas. He's a kid you root for. And he is soft-spoken, nice, humble. But, boy, he's a beast on the football field.
And we're going to see him again in a couple of weeks. He is unbelievable. Well, let's now take a look at the Game Time Player of the Game. And it is no surprise whatsoever, Zidane Thomas. 316 yards rushing on the night.
Even though he let me down, I did the math. I thought about it. He was on pace for 440 yards.
You're going to have to live with 316.
I don't know what happened to him there in the second half. But congratulations to him. And again, and he's right. I mean, the offensive line did a tremendous job opening holes up front. And then you have long runs when your receivers are blocking downfield for you.
And Zidane Thomas made sure to give credit to those guys during his interview after the game with Sidney Carriel.
A kid you root for sure.
Well, be sure to tune in next Thursday night on your local YurView station or online at YurView.com when Game Time comes at you from the state of Oklahoma as Union tackles Edmond North in 6A action. Tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central. Check that, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, and 6 o'clock out in the Pacific for all the action. Don't forget, you can always watch on YurView.com. I'd like to thank everybody who's a part of the broadcast this evening. Our producer, Rich Reed, our director, Peter Gordon, our TD, Tom Drotzman on audio, Bob Bachman and Ryan Powell, duet, Diana Drotzman, EVS, Don Shea Brown, and Chris Schmoll. Camera guys, Omar Marina, Eric Knipfer, Scott Santiago, Corey Jones, and David Telez. Utility, Alex Rincon. Our stats man, Jared Donnins. Our stage manager, Beth Pockman. Scorebug, DeJuan Brown. Our engineers, Richard Ryan and Cable Hogan. And for Sidney Carriel, my partner, Dale Hellestray. I'm Chris Harris. Thanks for watching this week's Game Time Game of the Week on YurView. Have a great night, everybody.
Come on, buddy, you can do it. Yeah. Oh, man, this is so good to be on you.
Looking for a real good time? Come to Red Devil, where old traditions become new. Whether it's a special occasion or a night out on the town, Red Devil will meet all your dine-in and take-out needs at a price that's hard to beat. Red Devil, starting a new tradition.
Tune into Your Health and explore the ways that people are leading healthier lives.
Join me, Erica Cardenas, on the next Your Health, where we're headed to the supermarket. We're learning how we can use foods to stay healthy.
Plus, we visit Agave Pediatrics to get a first-hand look at their kind and compassionate pediatric care. Watch Your Health on YurView, premiering Sunday, September 17th at 5 p.m. Brought to you by Agave Pediatrics, with 4 Valley locations in Scottsdale, Glendale, Chandler, and Phoenix.